Yeah, so on the side of Team Sinister, you have Lady Brutal, Two Zeros, Assault Queen, E-Girl, and Brittany. And for that team, Queen seemed to be one of the big players on the side of Sinister, constantly in the face, and always seemed to be, no matter what, ahead of her team when it came to either entering into the site or even on the defense, right in the face of the attackers. So Assault Queen is definitely a player on the side of Sinister that sometimes she can go off and get a 3K, but sometimes she can fall in the opening duel frequently. So it really depends on how she's feeling. And of course, on the side of Trap Queens, you have Terra, Autumn, Alexis, Daddy Satan, and Sora. You will see that Autumn is a new name on the roster. Lissa unfortunately had to take some steps back, and Autumn will be filling in for the rest of the season. And on that side, one of the players you want to watch out for is Terra. Terra is a very good player overall, but honestly, while I'm highlighting Terra, she had some great moments in the series against Goo Goo Dolls. All 5 players on this roster really were showing up for Trap Queens. They're very much, we used this phrase before, where Mirage seemed to show up and play by committee. Trap Queens, even though they did end up losing, they still were all on the board throughout all 3 maps.
Now, it's tough losing a player like Lissa, but I mean, if you're going to bring in Autumn May, that's a pretty big pickup, Benny.
Yeah, Autumn May is a big content creator. We've seen her play in many other things, and she's a pretty damn good player. So I'm interested to see how she does this matchup and if she can show up and, maybe fill the shoes of Lissa as well.
Now, the map vetoes are ready. I'll stick with you, Benny. Talk to us about the maps, because we've been talking about them so far.
As you see, so Coastline banned out. That's a very aggressive map. Oregon, we saw last game, it's a very boring map with one aggressive. And Cafe picked by Team Sinister, a very defense-sided map. And then Clubhouse, we talked about Clubhouse and how well teams can play. And Villa is our decider. So definitely revisiting some old maps in. I'm interested to see that because Cafe isn't usually picked because of how difficult, attacking can be on Cafe. Cafe is such a difficult map.
Now we got 2 of the same maps, kind of a reverse order here. We'll be going for that alternate map. As the first one, it'll be Cafe instead of Oregon. Clubhouse still being that second map that we will definitely see, so we will get more than our fair share of Clubhouse today links.
We certainly will indeed, but Clubhouse, that pick is a little bit odd. Brim, you and I were talking about this before the show went live. Trap Queens and Goo Goo Dolls, in that series, Trap Queens, they banned first. The first map they banned out of their 3 was Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So general wisdom conveys, okay, maybe they don't play Clubhouse as much, maybe they're not as comfortable with it, but they opted to pick it here. It's not just that they left it up. They looked at the selection, they looked at Consulate, Chalet, a map that they won against Goo Goo Dolls, and they were like, that's the map we want to go to. So clearly they've either been hiding something or they know something that Team Sinister does that they really feel confident on, but at the very least, seeing Clubhouse picked, surprising to me at least.
Could that be the insight there that they maybe felt that Goo Goo Dolls was not the team that they wanted to play on Clubhouse, and now if they know a little bit more about Sinister here, they look at it and go, that's exactly the map that we want to go to?
I think that's an incredible possibility, and likely I would say top contenders for the reasons why they opted to ban it there and didn't opt to ban it here. Goo Goo Dolls, you got Marmalade Goddess, you have pro level talent, but also extensive comp level talent. Burb as well, Lauren. You have players that have been playing this game for quite a long time at a very high level, especially in Marmalade or Goddess. With Clubhouse, how well practiced that is, taking Goo Goo Dolls to that map likely would have been scary. So I think that's probably the reason why they banned it there, but opted to pick it here.
Now, this is, as we said, a very close matchup. Benny, do you see the favor leaning either way? Does the fact that one team went 0-2 last week and the other one 1-2, does that factor in at all for you?
It does seem like it'd be a closer matchup, but the fact that they have a sub today, I wonder if that's going to really influence the gameplay for Trap Queens. They have to sub in Autumn May for Lisa. How big of a role was Lisa? Like, how big of shoes does Autumn May have to fill? And is that going to be a good thing for them, or is it going to be, an unfortunate choice for Trap Queens? They have to deal with that and maybe mesh together.
Well, going off that, Benny, I mean, Brim and I were talking. Tex had to sub in, but she was one of the bigger players on the side of Homeland that round. If Autumn May is able to fill Lissa's shoes, subs today have already seemed to perform pretty well. So maybe it's not the same kind of situation we thought. Maybe Autumn May will be able to pick it up.
Well, the first map is ready. It's going to be Cafe. It's the first time we're going to see it today. So hopefully this one gets something decided for us. And then maybe who knows after that. But I'll let you boys take it away.
Thank you very much, Brimstone. And hey, at the very least, we get a new map. Why did you say it like that?
I went voice.
Okay, Benny.
What's interesting, because talking about before, like I said before, like maybe in the pre-show before, but the fact that maybe subs are unpredictable, that could be a big thing here that could play for Trap Queens in this matchup as we get started here on Cafe.
Now we're moving into it, of course. It is Cafe, Sinister versus Trap Queens. Who will come out on top? Because, well, at this point, somebody might come out on top, but maybe map 3 is just more of an inevitability than a potential at this rate. It would be kind of funny if the series was 2-0 after, even though the last series went to 3 maps, it was a 7-2, then a 7-3, then a 7-0. It's kind of odd how that worked out. So hoping for a closer series here, not just in terms of the map wins, but also in the maps themselves.
Yeah.
First ban up, Thatcher. Not at all surprising, Benny.
Maverick get banned. Let's see what happens. Usually you see the Heart Breacher and the Thatcher has been a pretty, common pair today in bans. We did see Jackal banned out. We went to Oregon, but that was not that crazy, or that was kind of crazy to see that. But yeah, Zofia banned. Okay, now we're seeing crazy bans. Finally, some ridiculous bans. Zofia's always been strong, but never strong enough to warrant a ban. So I'm going to see what Sinister bans next, because they've been banning some weird things already.
Well, Zofia could be a really strong ban. Once Ashe got her nerf to her, that recoil nerf gets a lot of talk, but she lost flashes a while ago, lost that second breaching round. Zofia has taken her place on the mantle. And so without a Zofia, your options are usually either that Ashe, who doesn't have as much utility as she used to, or that Yana, where if you play her in a similar role to Zofia on that entry, if she dies, you lose a hell of a lot of utility. So that's putting the attack in a tough spot, at least in terms of those roles. Final 2 bans, Goyo and Mira, 2 common bans on this map. Mira especially incredibly strong on Cafe, but Goyo as well. A C4, those 2 deployable shields. You've also strapped the defense for utility now, not just in those mirror windows, but in their shield and bulletproof economy as well.
Definitely, yeah. Goyo's been played quite a bit in this map. There's many different places you can put those Vulcan shields to just waste time. And really, more anything, making those shield setups upstairs is always what most teams do. So they can just cause you to, shoot go through, a Rooney gate. Jaeger have this from Omai and just make it just a pain in the butt to make way through Christmas upstairs. So let's see what happens. So we'll go upstairs, just like I said, for the Sire Trap Queens. As I said before, those laser gates from Rooney on Alexis are a big one. You could make some holes and angles with those Rooney laser gates and really cause a ruckus and cause chaos for the side of Sinister here, really. And now Terra's going to 6-pick off of the mute onto a Frost, and Frost has been big, though. So he's a secondary shotgun. Having those mats for jumping in windows or just really in general for teams that are pushing in is helpful for a lot of teams.
Since you don't have those Goyo shields, you need to bring or use whatever shields you can at your disposal. But Frost is still an op where even when a Goyo is not banned, left up, you still see Frost. She's slowly creeped her way into the meta. Good gun. Those Frost mats. You usually don't rely them to actually down players, just crosshair displacement. Attacker has to look down instead of looking at you. And you also have a deployable shield. And nobody's ever going to complain about having a deployable shield. But with that Aruni, as you mentioned, this is where that Yana comes into play. Both Ashe and Yana are brought since that Zofia is gone, but Yana's able to clear out Aruni more effectively than most other ops in the game. You just activate your clone, send it into a gate, and bam, that Aruni gate is now down for 30 seconds, and you didn't have to use a nade, a flash, a drone, a Gone 6, what have you. You just press 4, send it in, and it comes back in a little bit anyway.
Yeah, but these are the shields we're seeing. We're seeing the shield set up once more. I see one shield faced from bathroom into Christmas. Actually, a second shield over by the white stairs. Actually, not usually. Usually it's placed in freezer. Usually I see it facing into Christmas, but rather they place it maybe near the rotation between, that cocktail rotate into a freezer. So let's see how Team Sinister can tackle this. What they do exactly. The first plan is always going to be, taking to Christmas, and I don't think anybody's playing too aggressive for the moment. But they still have to deal with the person playing in bathroom, maybe playing Pixel as well. They're gonna drone out Cocktail and actually use some of those drones as well as someone playing Cocktail close, but no, nobody's actually there, so they made a shot from Pixel. So let's say the down drone's gonna come in. They're gonna drone out where it is, and Lex with the first kill onto Lady Brutal, who maybe it looks like on the white stair or on the white hall window. Big first pick, dealing with your Nomad. So any flanks to come through, you don't have any air jobs to help you out.
That's sometimes the issue with playing that position. If you rappel on down, the defense has a little bit of a moment of advantage where they're able to swing you and you don't have much choice or much option for recourse. And of course, maybe Lady Brutal got a little bit of ahead of herself there. Even though she died, nobody had cleared out Pixel yet. Nobody was really able to rotate and actually get her trade because they just peeked out a bathroom, took her down, then rotated back in. I think that could have been the play, just might have come a little bit too early in comparison to what Sinister had in terms of map control. Now Alexis K able to sit behind the shield to her heart's content. If Sinister want to clear her out, or clear out in the same way, they'll have to rotate somebody over, and that's even less people on this push from Cigar. Brady could have been that player, but she's rotated over. Now there's 4 members all on this western side of the map. We'll start opening up that Cigar doorway, but beyond, or Cigar wall, but beyond that, they've barely made any progress in the first minute 50.
Yeah, slow working here from Team Sinister. They're slowly making their way through. Now they see that giant hole made in freezer and bathroom that they gotta deal with. The Rune Gate's made to waste more utility. And Alexis K, she's just gonna peek right out the door and finish off Brittany one good pick, another good pick here for Trap Queens. Slowly but surely, they're just bleeding out the side of Team Sinister, but E-Girl in a really fantastic position. Nobody knows that she's just walking through bar, making her way through it. She's the backpack, the Maestro E-Girl. It's one kill, kicks it auto May, but Suro's right there. Suro takes the kill on E-Girl, but allows them to get the plant down. So this is actually a 2v4 post-plant. The plants are right in bar, and Suro peaks again with the SMG-11, takes out 2 zeros. It's down to just Queen. In a post-one situation, one kill in their name, but no, unfortunately, can't get the kill onto Alexis. Zero finishes with Queen, and that is a first good round for Trap Queens.
I'd feel remiss if I did not correct a mistake I made earlier. Well, not a mistake. I highlighted Queen on the roster, but I also should have highlighted E-Girl. E-Girl was an incredibly consistent performer for Sinister in their first series against Sakuna, one of the top performers. In that round, they had stalled out completely. It did not look like they had a plan on what to do, especially once Lady Brutal got killed early on. In moments like that, sometimes a player just needs to go for a play. Maybe it's not the best decision, or at least the smartest decision, or it's a risky decision, but you have to make it. E-Girl is that player where if you put her on a mission, if you put her in that situation where she has to take a gamble, she's the one that's most likely to come back with a success. Sent it down long bar. That looked like the opening, but you can only do so much when you haven't cleared any member of the defense out from their position. The Aruni, still in bathroom. Put it to a 3v5. E-Girl got a kill, and Sinister managed to start pushing in, but everyone was still alive on Cocktail, top white, in bathroom. Weren't able to repel the plant, oddly enough, but still were able to collapse upon the remaining 2 attackers and deal with them as they were rotating back to their angles.
Good round for Trap Queens. We go downstairs to kitchen cooking, kitchen service for our next defense, and they're bringing the Mozzie, they're bringing the Visual, no mute, but it's still looking to be a partial roam here from the side of Trap Queens, looking to play either aggressive or just waste time, make the attackers of Sinister drone out all of the floors, drone out every single nook and cranny to drive out these defenders and just waste as much time as possible. As you see on Cafe on this defense, on this top bottom floor defense, it's usually what teams do, and yeah, already you see Sora up here, just opening up holes, just making sure there's just almost like evidence of trying to find these members, and there's evidence of them being here, so it's to waste time trying to clear them out.
There's some evidence like that. We also have evidence like the Aruni gate just placed right on that cigar doorway, or top red doorway. Trap Queens, or Sinister, sorry, will have to clear. At least for the moment, they'll start to repel up, then they're like, you know what? Nah, we're gonna rotate back now real quick. We'll stick to the horizontal. Okay, now let's rotate back. Now Queen with the sledge, moving up to that top floor, opening up those hatches, and we'll likely see her, one of the aggressive players I highlighted on the side of Sinister, taking that forward approach on clearing out these roamers, one of which might be Daddy Satan. All likelihood will be Daddy Satan if she doesn't rotate back. Currently sitting inside of Christmas, hasn't been drone yet, and could be a bit precarious with that ERC in her pocket. But if she falls back, she'll have Alexis K by her side, I think, as well. This is a very extensive and spread out roam by Trap Queens, which could very well help them if the attackers are not as effective in their droning, but could hurt them if they're able to pinch them out.
Yeah, the big thing here is how much intel can they deny? How many drones can they destroy to make it more difficult for Team Sinister? Lady Brutal sitting on the White Stairs window, looking for anybody. Alexis K starts off first, though, takes out Brittany. And again, intel's the bigger issue. Though Lady Brutal has made the way to White Stairs, and I don't know if they know they're there. Unfortunately, even then, Alexis K almost gets headshot, but Lady Brutal just that much better. It'll finish with Alexis K, and Daddy Satan is the next one on here. It looks like he's being pinged out. Maybe not, but oh, a drop from Queen down from upstairs into mining will get the kill, and that's a great roam clear from the side of Trap Queens. Oh, not Trap Queens, Sinister.
Well, either way, great pile driver onto Trap Queens from the top ropes. I almost made the same mistake you did. Not the same mistake 2 zeros did, thinking that mining was safe even though they had cleared it out. C4 down from below. Great play by Terra. It's the only one they have, so now it's mostly reliant on guns and waiting out the time. Lady Brutal is also on low HP, so it's... Even though it's a 3v3, still not all setting good for Sinister, though you also have Sora on 25, so it still might favor them in the aggregate. But they have plenty of time. The attack does open up these floors to gain these vertical angles, and depending on where Trap Queens are playing, catch one out on an unlucky rotate or an unlucky position. But this is the unfortunate spot Trap Queens find themselves in. They don't have a lot of utility to actively counter the attack. With those Maestros, you have some evil eyes, but they're likely on the site. Use the C4, and Sora can't do much beyond use your P10. You do just have to wait for the attack to come on through. Thankfully, since they lost 2-0 as the ace, they're not able to open these hatches, so they will have to go for a solely horizontal push. You see E-Girl moving in through this kitchen double door, through the barbed wire as well, gives the sound cue. There's two directly to her left, but it's the one from the right to fell her. Sora moves on in, finds one, Queen finds two. It's just Terra, the one who killed E-Girl, to try and clutch this and stop Queen from the 1v3 clutch. Queen peeks around the corner, goes to get the bomb down. Terra's playing this so well. She just has to wait, but no, Queen peeks! Right as Terra rotates off, Queen hops the window, shoots her in the back, gets Sinister their first round, evening at 1-1.
I need to see timer for that. I need to see timer for that.
I
That had
do
to been
as well.
like 0.5 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was like 0.001. That's when Terra goes for the kill, thinking that they're gonna go for the play because there's no time left. But how much time was there when the Queen got that kill? What the? But either way, that was a great start for Team Sinister. They were able to get the first kills, get that roam clear. Well, it was a 2-for-1, but then the C4 evens it up, and at that point, they didn't really have, it seemed like, have the plan that they didn't have any real utility to make their way on the site. They were trying to find picks vertically, but couldn't find them with no time really left. So they make their way downstairs. They try to make different approaches. Would be big double door coming into site, or they go through, go through freezer to push on the site. But there are players waiting and ready to take fights from the side of Trap Queens, which ended up happening. We had one player peek from small baker get that kill, two players inside a bunker just waiting, but they didn't expect one player to just walk in freezer and take 2 kills and get third and win them that round.
That's why stacking up is dangerous in a game like Siege. If they were just even spread out a little bit more in bunker and not almost like a CSGO boost, one standing on top of the other, they had just spread out a little bit more, would have been a much harder shot for Queen to land. But you just had a body shot one, and you even moved down or moved up. If you just opted not to control the recoil, you probably still would have killed both of them. Pretty easy engagement for her to win out. So, all things considered, of course, you can say make an adjustment there, but in terms of overall Trap Queen's defense, it was solid throughout. You had a little bit of struggle on the roam, but Alexis K still opened things up onto Brittany the Ash, who one of the main entries on the side of Sinister. You also had the C4 from below that killed 2-0's the ace, and it was that point where Sinister seemed the most lost. Not able to open that hatch. All they had was that vertical destruction. They pushed the horizontal, and it just happened. The gunfights worked their way. That's why it worked out. But if Sinister, or if Trap Queens are able to repel the attack for just as long a time, and maybe even Alexis K is able to play it a bit safer, or whoever's on the roam is able to play it a little bit safer, still a very winnable situation, a very winnable site for Trap Queens.
I definitely agree. Though it just seems like this time Trap Queens aren't playing as aggressive. They're playing the same site, but from the operator pick, it seems like they're playing more to the chest, maybe playing horizontally rather than vertically. And we'll see exactly how quickly now Team Sinister, if they can figure out nobody's roaming, so they can take control of upstairs and then go for his vertical pressure. Pre-fires came from Brittany. I wonder if they're still droning for the moment to figure out where everybody is, whether or not they're actually droning. It looks like at this point, Lady Bruto's made their way into pillars, using those air jabs to make sure nobody can rotate on them later in the round and try and take fights. This Twin Queen team go to work. And this is the part last time. They need to be wary of the C4s. They gotta somehow evade them, get on top of these tables, get these train cars, not get C4'd from Terror on the mute, as that's the only C4 available. Brittany's going to work here, opening up, and it's kind of scary when you don't play vertically. You allow for the attack of Team Sinister to just open up as much as they can vertically and see if they can find anybody. If you're playing Kochek, if you're playing vertically, though, you have positions elsewhere to try and deny them when they push down these sets inevitably.
And that is the issue with not extending up top. You see how Queen is able to quickly destroy these floors. Even though that hatch is reinforced, if you're not able to C4 from below like they did before, the ace is alive. And that's about that's the biggest thing you need to open on a kitchen attack is that freezer hatch. And 2-0 has plenty of time and utility to deal with it. Eager will make a push down red stairs and push the horizontal just like she did last time. Albeit the situation here and the straights are much, much better for Sinister overall. They required map control much quicker. It's a 5v5. They haven't lost the opening duel because, well, it just flat out hasn't happened yet. And on top of that, they have intel on the players playing directly on the site. One spotted the Jaeger peeking and playing around that bakery bar. They might not know Terra is also aiding her just across the room, but Terra is in a bit of a difficult position right now. Might not exactly expose herself to the double door, so Daddy Satan will have her covered. But if even one part of this falls, depending on who it is, they'll have trouble rotating back. But as I was about to say, Daddy Satan was the one in the trickier position. But since she fell and is the opening pick, Terra's going to rotate back into sight. But in the final 30 seconds, Sinister don't have a lot.
Well, Terra get one pick as well onto Lady Brutal. And at this point, Queen's trying to make the way through, but they've not cleared boots. It's Sura with a kill, and Brittany gets another one, though, on Alexis. They're making way on the site. 2-0 takes out Terra, and they have control of kitchen cooking at this point. They can go for a plant. Sura's trying to deny with those smokes and pushing in. Sees the head of one down. There's a kill for Sura. Take out Brittany. 2 for the round. Now at this point, it's 2-0 E-Girl. 2-0 planting. E-Girl has their back. Can she defend their planters? They push through, and oh, the plant goes down, but they can't protect the planter of 2-0. They go down. Unfortunately, it's now Eagle in a 1v1 though. As Eagle's gonna walk out and see if they can just defend and wait. 2-0 is actually a drone at this point. 2-0 can drone for E-Girl and send one there near the diffuser. And that's point Autumn May is going for the disable. Are they gonna play? Oh, it looks like they're gonna stick it though. Autumn May's gonna get it off, and then it goes through. Pros don't fake.
Wow, okay. E-Girl obviously playing a little bit passive, expecting Autumn May to rotate off, but as you said, pros don't fake. That is the second time today we've had a clutch not won by gunfights, but by the defender sticking the diffuser, though I think that one a little bit more impressive overall. 1v1, you don't have the benefit of teammates running around and shooting at the attacking team. You just had to hope that E-Girl was not going to push in very quickly, and all her hope and her faith paid off and have regained the lead for Trap Queens. Won the first round, now they've won the third. They've won Kitchen as well. Cocktails unlocked. They'll go back up, and this was the first site where Sinister seemed to struggle and seemed to struggle the most on attack.
I'm still gonna give Tabby the benefit of the doubt that she smoked for the reason so she could mask the sound for disabling diffuser.
I
Still
wish
gonna give her the benefit of the doubt.
I wish I had a conclusive answer on that right now, because I think you're right. I just don't know is the problem.
I don't know. I'm just gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because I think she's a great player. She's a pro. Pros don't fake. Fantastic play from Tabby. Fantastic play from Autumn May.
Honestly, that's the thing. Even if we're taking the smoke thing away from her, the fact that she's still stuck is big ups.
Still fantastic.
Still
Either way, so
fantastic.
it's like we're upstairs. There's a warden on the board though. So last time, again, you said before, they stalled a lot on this. It's very difficult to take control of this Christmas play into Chris pushing the freezer with these shields everywhere. Shields inside of freezers, shields inside of bathroom. Yeah, the Rooney gates as well from Alexis inside of inside of freezer, inside of bathroom. It makes it very difficult. Which you usually see teams sometimes they go for a cocktail take instead, but from the lineup it seems they're still gonna go for this freezer take, and I wonder what's gonna be different. And I wonder why they brought the warden.
Probably brought the warden for the shield, would be my guess. Also, 1.5 MPX goes kind of crazy sometimes. I imagine both those things influenced Terra's decision. As
Sure,
on the side of Sinister, they haven't been using smokes all that extensively. In fact, I don't think they brought smokes at all. They have brought some flashes, but only in the hands of Lady Brutal. They're likely only using it for clear. I would guess the shield 1.5. You have the gadget just in case, but it's the secondary utility and the weapon, I would guess, is why Terra opted to bring that warden. And unlucky for Sinister, because they already struggled to deal with those Aruni Gates, Maestros, and one deployable shield. Now they have a second to deal with. That's just kind of mean from Trap Queens at a certain point. I don't know if that's actually legally allowed, but they did it anyway. And now Sinister, they're the ones that have to deal with it. They already stalled out against the former defense. Not enough to make any judgments just yet. See one drop on in. We reached 2 minutes, and Brittany's at the very least entered the building, but it was that wall. That was Z-Ping just now? Yeah, that was the wall that caused Sinister the most trouble than almost anything else in that round.
I should be able to open it up though. They have breach her. They have an ace to the Selma, so they should be open this wall and push the way into Christmas. Though I don't know how much they're gonna get with this if they even though they have control of Christmas, because they still have to deal with the freezer shields, they have to deal with the bathroom shields. Ego is just really figuring out what's going on, because I'm not sure if Trap Queens will let Ego do the same thing as last time and walk through long bar and take control like they did last time. So let's see what happens here. Queen's waiting for a flank. Queen's now gonna push right into Christmas. Peek the shield. Nobody's peeking for over. Actually, yeah, last time it was the door that Lexus peeking got the kill. The first pick for her team. It looks like that, yeah. It looks like the Wonder Grenade gets picked out, and they need to get rid of all this utility before they can destroy the shield, which is why this, this adventure of trying to destroy these shields and make their way in is so very difficult for them. Ego gets spotted out by the Maestro Cam and Automated. The first one down to Queen, peeking down, long bar, great shots and great start for Sinister.
You've taken out the Maestro, so at the very least those Evil Eyes won't remain fully active as they were before, but the refrag onto E-Girl had the Gone 6, the 2 remaining nades, and the Yana clone, that is a heavy loss in the utility department, especially since Queen already lost both of her frag grenades. You were really relying on E-Girl to do a lot of that destruction later on. Lexus will find the one onto Ash, not as much a hit in terms of utility compared to the Yana, but Queen falling as well. Sinister have quickly started to lose the plot on this round. Still have the 2 Selma charges, but at this point, it's too late in the round to fully commit to any sort of hard destruction. Lady Brutal will at least catch Alexis K's head, peeking out from behind that shield. Bit of an aggressive gunfight from the Aruni, but as Daddy Satan watches her teammate fall to aggression, she gets aggressive inside a freezer and picks up the final 2. Overall, so far, this seems to be Trap Queens at the very least, their map, because they seem pretty damn good on it so far.
1-3 on defense so far, looking very good for Trap Queens. But again, it's Cafe though. Attacking Cafe,
That is true.
especially with the ban so far, it is pretty painful. I'm gonna say it's pretty painful to do. So if they can get like 2 rounds, if we get 2 rounds Sinister can get, I think it's still pretty decent from them.
I look at you playing Mr. Bipartisan, playing Mr. Even-handed. Good on
Well,
you.
let's see what happens next, though. We're going to Reading in Fireplace for the first time for Trap Queens. This site usually has a roam upstairs inside of Cocktail, which they've been playing pretty hard. And I wonder, we've seen only one roam clear so far from Sinister when they had the roam clear, downstairs the kitchen, which was pretty good actually, though it was evened up pretty quickly through that C4. I wonder how they will do here, roam clearing Cocktail this time.
This is a site that can, if the defense wants to, revolve a lot from the C4s down below. It's not uncommon for a pulse to be played inside the site to aid the roam up top, but especially recently, we haven't seen it nearly as much. It has been more so focused from creating a minefield for the attack to actually devoting quite a bit of utility to that top floor and just using that to waste your own time. Those castle barricades as well, that'll be one of the objects at the forefront of the attack that not only will waste a lot of utility, but will allow, in all likelihood, Trap Queens to get a little bit more aggressive on this hold up top. Normally, we see players just relegate themselves to Cocktail Balk and Pallets, maybe play aggressively at Pixel early on before they rotate back. With those castle barricades, you might have a little bit more freedom to play inside a bathroom, to play inside a freezer, though you still have to be worried about that one door still exposed to skylight. Still, with that castle, you can get a little bit more aggressive. And for Trap Queens, who seem to be more successful than Sinister when it comes to getting aggressive, that might be the exact strategy you need to stop the attack from even getting a single round.
Let's see here. Some information from Brittany. Brittany knows once on brown stairs, and that brown stairs player of Alexis is actually coming down the stairs already. So there's that aggression we're talking about. And Brittany now is kind of, worried off of that, scared that Alexis is going to swing the main doors. So Alexis still, at the point, is still roaming downstairs. And she's actually in a solo roam too. So I wonder if Sinister is going to prove to, maybe pinch her out downstairs. Because that's C4 from below, like you said, which could prove to be fatal later on. As I say that, though, it doesn't seem like anybody from Sinister is going upstairs at the moment to roam clear. They're all droning on this second floor, bottom floor, and they're just looking around. It looks like just droning happening. Brittany's going to make the way into the building. Queen takes a lot of damage and walking right into the reading door. Loses the fight to Automate. Grenade comes through. We're not going to kill. So Sura upstairs will get a kill on the 2 zeros, and so far, this push has been all but not.
Automate getting revenge on Queen for the engagement last round. It was Queen to find Automate, but now the turn has tabled, I don't know why I quoted The Office there. I don't even watch the show. Anyway, beside the point. I just felt, I felt like saying it. I felt like being a little bit quirky. Just as one of the members of Trap Queens is feeling to get a little bit quirky with it. That's the Malusi spraying all the way down over towards Brittany. Though the Ashe takes about 25 HP in damage, she's not going to get too worried. They at the very least know Alexis K is downstairs, and if they hold these stairwells, could do enough to stop her from pushing up. But there's only 2 members left. It's the Ashe and the Yana. They don't have the manpower to just send someone to watch the flank. They don't have the manpower to actually do a lot of anything, really. Brittany has pushed up white, but you have defenders all around her. One peeks out, swats her down, wastes her against the wall, and it's E-Girl all the way up top, left in a 1v5. Spotted one on Cocktail Balk, tries to spray onto the balcony, then through the wall, but neither find purchase on any member of the defense. All 5 members of Trap Queen still on full HP. A C4 goes out, it misses, so E-Girl can at the very least count 1 less C4 waiting for her as she moves her way down red stairs. But at this point, with this moment, at this man disadvantage, E-Girl in all likelihood is just going to take a little bit of attack timeout, or an effective tactical timeout. She gets sprayed through the wall anyway, so unlucky for her, not enough time wasted as I imagined she would have liked. But it was, at that point, it was a Trap Queens round, and we were just waiting for the result to flash.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sinister, they didn't seem to have an idea of what to do there. They didn't seem to want to clear the roamers in Cocktail upstairs or in Freezer or in Pallets. At that point, they tried to push downstairs first floor, deal with that one roamer, and also maybe just push straight onto site. You just saw Queen open up that, that pillar's door, that north door into site, and then push the reading door, try to throw a grenade, try and deal with the person behind the bookcase, but did not expect a 2-person swing off of that. Both killing Queens, and then Sora upstairs, getting picks from above, and also below, we still had Alexis roaming downstairs, proving to be quite just a mass murderer.
Alexis K was doing great there. Overall, Trap Queens, how Brim mentioned earlier, this has been a pretty solid team effort overall. Nobody has really, you obviously Sora, she's the top fragger, she's 8-2, but No member of the team has, I felt, really been putting the entire team on their back. Sora is not like just getting 3Ks every round. Everyone has been putting in the work, at the very least in terms of kills, utility, intel gathering. Automate's been doing extremely well on that more support role. She's gotten some kills every now and then, but she's been playing the Maestro, sitting in the site, gathering intel for her team. And everyone from Trap Queens is really doing their jobs. And on the side of Sinister as well, it's kind of a committee effort there. Sometimes some members are able to make their way, but in the next round they falter. And in the first round, some members falter, then they find their way. But they can't really seem to find all of their players on the same page at the same time. And for a site like Kitchen, this seemed to be the site that came the closest to that getting realized. When Trap Queens just completely ceded second floor control of the attack, Sinister moved quickly on in, able to open up the floor, and started to make things work. And it was that push on the side where they ended up winning. Queen baited out the plant and ended up killing Terra in that 1v1. So going to a side like Kitchen, this seems to be the one that Sinister are the most comfortable on. It's just after 3 attacking losses in a row, which they weren't able to do that same thing on any other bomb site. That's the one thing I'm worried about. While they managed to do it on this, was that a fluke? Or are they able to understand Kitchen to the fullest extent?
It seems like they would get the plan last time, though. That was huge. They still were able to get in a pretty winnable situation for Team Sinister. So I think it's still possible. Again, there is no roam here, so they should have no problem, again, taking control of mining, taking control of site, and opening up. But again, last time, the big thing was the fact that in this effort, when there's no roam, you have to understand that a lot of these players are horizontally playing boots, playing bakery. You have to understand, like last time when they pushed down, they didn't clear boots, which was a big issue with that they couldn't push into freezer or push down white stairs. So I'm hoping this time Team Sinister has understood this, knows exactly what his players are, either whether they drone them or they know they're last time. C4 thrown by Terra, nobody's there for the moment, that'll blow up and get no kills, and that's wasted C4. That's good for Team Sinister. Slowly but surely they're opening up this floor, and Terra could prove to be, looks like to be checking, trying to find or take a fight with somebody on these vertical holes, but nobody's peeking down the just floor, and Terra's taking a lot of damage, taking the heavy fight. Terra at this point is probably going to leave and push into bakery and save her, stay alive.
Your Sinister are not dealing with this bakery extension, or they are dealing with it, but at about the same point as they did last time. They didn't opt to get a bit more aggressive or proactive with it. They're leaving Terra and Daddy Satan to their own devices. Queen will try to throw a nade on down below, and on low HP, it didn't have to land too close to Terra to kill her, but it still landed inside of prep and was not able to find Terra. She was still just trapped around the corner, and for now, this bakery hold remains rock solid. Sinister in a position to deal with it, though. One at main door, one outside small bake, and it's that player outside main door that finds Terra, the opening pick. And now Daddy Satan is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and 3 or 4 attackers all standing around her. She can't rotate back because there's players watching the vert and main door, and if she stays in this position, she could get pinched by the player from small bake. She's playing for her life right now, but a quartered animal is where they're strongest, or when they go out with a whimper. She's not able to land the shots. It's a 3v5 in the favor of Sinister. Sora tries to even things up, gets the shot onto Brittany, almost lands the shot up top, but Lady Brutal comes away with the refrag. Quinn as well takes down Alexis, and it's Autumn May to try and waste 4 members on the attack in only 15 seconds remaining. If he has Evil Eyes up, that could start zapping the planter, and zap they will. 2 zeros will rotate off, and the Maestro almost closed the shield in time, but got destroyed. Now it's all left up to the Alda and the player's own intuition to try to clutch this. She'll wait, let the bomb go down. It gives her more time. There's players up top, players in front of her, a lot of angles she has to contest with. And I think they might have an inkling that she's playing inside a freezer. You can see the Z-Pinks coming out. They know the general area for where she is. All sitting back, all waiting, knowing Autumn May has to be the one to set the pace and make the play. She'll swing out, finds one on Brown Bar, but not able to land the shots. Queen takes her head off. Sinister pick up their first round in quite a while, ending at 4-2.
Told you, 4-2. I told you. They can get 2 rounds. I know they can do it. I got this. They go on the defense now. Team Sinister has a defense now. They have one of the favorite halves, and see if they can bring it back and make this a very even game, because it looks like both teams are proving to be, well, at least Trap Queens is proving to be pretty good in defense, and I'm hoping Team Sinister could do the same.
Especially on the side like Kitchen, it was almost kind of odd how Team Sinister, their cocktail attacks, they would get stalled out, get in their own way, not able to clear the utility. Similar situation on rating, and the Kitchen didn't even seem like a problem that last round.
Well, I think it's the fact that for that kind of defense, you can't do a Christmas take. It is so very difficult even for high level teams to do a Christmas take when you set up that much utility inside of freezer, inside of the bathroom. You have to go for a cocktail take, but that requires taking someone like Buck, which not everyone likes.
You know, Benny, you make a lot of compelling arguments.
I make a lot of logic that probably doesn't make sense actually.
I mean, it made sense to me. I was just hyping you up. I was like, you know,
thank
Benny,
you, thank you,
that
Wes.
made sense. You're like, oh, I don't do logic very well. It's like I literally just told you did do it well. Don't cloud on yourself. You're trying to be positive here. You, after all, you are the one that was being optimistic while I was being a bit pessimistic. So,
I'm optimistic about the team, not about myself. I think Team Sinister can bring us back. They got this. They got this.
Touche,
Look at
my
this
friend.
setup. They have this in store. They are ready.
They do have a fair bet, at least in terms of hard breach denial. Not something we saw all too often on the side, or
yeah.
at the very least,
Yeah.
wasn't a big focus for Trap Queens, but we have a Bandit, a Cade, no Mute, we still have a Bandit and Cade, so they're focusing not only on that horizontal with the Bandit batteries, but that vertical with the Cade as well. I'm interested to see if they actually left Freezer Hatch open or closed, because if it's open, obviously you can't Cade the air. But if it's closed,
I think it was.
I was supposed to say, if it was closed, it might make the rotate a little bit harder for the defense, but it would take a lot more time for Trap Queens if they go for that vertical take. But right now, Bakery seems to be the opportunity or the priority first and foremost for Trap Queens. They'll open up, use a Selma charge on that prep wall, they'll make their way in, and for right now, it does seem like Trap Queens are going for the horizontal as opposed to the vertical.
Yeah, this is mostly a horizontal hold from the side of Team Sinister. And even when Trap Queens are doing a horizontal take, Team Sinister still went vertical and tried to take control of those, make those holes so they can't really rotate on site. They can't beat on site pretty much at all. But at this point, it's not happening for Trap Queens. Trap Queens at this point are going fully horizontal. And we'll see how Team Sinister is able to deal with it. Automate is the first pick on the Queen. Queen was trying to get aggressive, playing by the breach. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for her. So at this point, Tara walking through. Does she know that one player is lying down? Oh, the Yana clone jump runs right by it. I don't think they know that she's lying down right by the breach. The one's pushing into prep. Nobody's holding the prep big window. Ego wait shot into Daddy Satan. Lady Brew goes down to swear as well. They finally figure out that Lady Brew sitting in the corner on makes the kill. That refrag, but 2-0 takes out Lexus K, and it's going pretty far down here for Trap Queens. It's Tara in a 1v3. Don't think she's going to be able to pick up on a May. Grenade comes out, and the grenade comes through. No, 2-0 is able to get it. Wasn't cooked quite enough, and so at this point, Tara's going to look through and try to find it. Sees one at Freezer, can't get the shots off, unfortunately. Peeks out, Small Bakery. One's there inside a coat check. It's the Jaeger of 2-0, who's waiting for the angle. Slowly but surely, the head though. Oh, he sees the headphones. Tara sees a little bit of that headphones for them that are leading through. Gets that pick. Now a 2v1 for Tara. She's got to somehow make it happen, but there's a lot of ground to cover.
On low HP as well, yeah, I was about to say, not a whole lot of ground she's likely going to cover, 25 HP. See the angle spotted there? And that angle, along with the others, were the big reason that Team Sinister won that round. If you're going for a while you did mention, Benny, that Team Sinister's hold was purely horizontal. There was no presence up above. If Trap Queen's take is purely horizontal as well, still somewhat favors the defense because they have their angles held. They know what they have to hold, and you as the attack have to walk into them and have to try and deal with them and win those gunfights because while you have a sledge, they didn't take her up above and try to use it to work the defenders out of their positions. They might have been able to find players. Got stun locked on the name for a second. Find players like who? It was Lady Brutal on the Cade, right? I was gonna say
Yes, yeah, Lady Brutal on the Cade.
It was Lady Brutal. I remember Queen died, and that was ringing in my head. I was like, wait, Queen already died. No, it was Lady Brutal. If you'd gone up top, you would have been able to find Lady Brutal on the Cade before she had killed one of your members going into the site. But Trap Queens didn't opt to do that. And since that execute came down to winning their gunfights, defenders had better crossfires. They had the man advantage. And it seemed to be strong overall for them. So good job and good hold by Sinister, but Trap Queens, if they attack that site again, I think going for the vertical might be the play instead of solely pushing all 5 members from Bakery over.
So on we go. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It seems like if they played a bit more horizontal, they played some vertical, played a more, a more 3D approach to their attack, it might have been different. But here we go for our next defense for Team Sinister. One more round and they can tie this all up. We go upstairs to Cocktail and Bar, and seeming a much different defense here for Team Sinister compared to Trap Queens. They're not playing that open holes in Freezer, open holes in Bathroom. They're playing a more, more normal approach you see on this site where you hold Bathroom, you hold Freezer. But as I say that, Queen's gonna start us off aggressive on that white stairs, peeks out the doorway, gets one person repelling, and starts us off well in the head. Well ahead.
Queen just hit Tara from the oldest trick in the book right there. That's about as old as, hey, look over there. I think both were invented about the same time. That and the White Stairs peak onto that Southern Rappel. Unlucky for Terra, especially because that's the Maverick, so cutting through those mute jammers will be a little bit more difficult. Queen will send out a C4, but it doesn't find anything, so Trap Queens only have to worry about losing their hard breacher and not losing another body on their side. But with that loss of the Maverick, clearing out spots like Bathroom are going to be much more difficult because once the Aruni rotates out of Pixel, she basically has a complete safe haven. And now with this mute jammer as well, they're able to open up some parts of the wall, but you're not going to be able to jump through that hole right there. You're not able to somehow squeeze your way like an octopus in between those tiny vertical holes. You either go below, or if you don't and you're sticking to the horizontal, that wall's as good as reinforced for the rest of the round.
I don't know how that just worked out. Why did it just stop? Oh wow! But the hole allows for Automate to get a kill on the queen. Well, actually, Automate is also gets a kill on the queen. It does allow for a lot of damage onto from 2 zeros onto the player Sura, but still Automate again with 2 kills for this round, making it back and giving them the personnel advantage is huge for side Trap Queens. This could still work in their favor, even though they still have to deal with pushing Freezer, pushing Christmas, making their way through, though there isn't as much aggression from Sinister, so it shouldn't be as painful making their way through, you know, Christmas and down Whitehall. Let's see what they do so far, as they have the personal advantage, so they have a lot to their name. Brittany hears the grenades, they're going to back off at that point. Sue is droning for her team, trying to figure out what's going on with this setup from Team Sinister.
Thankfully for the attack, Sinister gave away a lot of their positioning for free. 2 zeros got aggressive on that Christmas wall, but rotated back, was caught off. So Sinister at the very least, well, sorry, Trap Queens at the very least, all they have to worry from Sinister are the players inside the site. But we've seen Sinister get tripped up on this push in. It doesn't appear Automate is the same caliber of player. She has a triple so far, and she's making her way on in. We're looking at ace territory right here. She picks up number 4. Number 5 is right in front of her, not even looking her way. The new member on the roster, the sub stepping in for the first game. Well, she gets the first ace of today, and or very well might be the only ace. Great play by Diana, great play by Automate, and great play for Trap Queens as they widen their lead.
What a streak of kills for Automate. First pick goes in the favor of Team Sinister, as there was a peek from, you know, that good old peek you always see on Cafe. We just run out the white stairs door and you run on somebody repelling. Queen gets that first pick, but Automate's there to pick off one member after another on Team Sinister and give them the ace and take that round. What was looking to be, you know, a tie for Team Sinister, unfortunately will not be, and Trapkins will keep their lead as we go back upstairs. And with Team Sinister, see what they do, because it's interesting to see that they saw how effective, you know, that Christmas hold was, having those shields to just really make it difficult for teams to push into Christmas. It's surprising they don't try to employ the same tactics.
It was not as utility heavy as you would have thought, was it?
No, not at all.
There was just so much on Trap Queens last time.
There was some aggression here and there that was like surprising, because they played Christmas, they peaked here and there, but like it was very easy for Trap Queens to make their way into certain spots, like key points, like, you know, Cocktail, like Balk, New Balk, Christmas, Cocktail. There was not really a lot of resistance.
And when a lot of that round, it came down to being able to find those players on the, of course, as you saw, Automate finding those players on the rotate. But losing Terra early on, they literally had no way to take out those mute jammers. They were just like, I guess we'll fire some Hibana pellets on Cigar Wall and hope it works out. And it worked out a little bit. They got some parts open. Or they weren't able to bypass that. The defense had so many bunkers they could retreat to. But so, as you said, some got aggressive. Automate caught him on the rotate back. And in large part, that's what the round came down to. Because you didn't have to clear Pixel anymore. You're just able to move on in. So further side of Cocktail, for both teams, one, Terra got to stay alive. Be a bit more careful. Don't get caught off by the oldest trick in the book. But for Sinister, maybe play your positions. Maybe don't get as aggro as you did before. They obviously didn't know they took down the Maverick, but just bide your time. Wait it out. Don't get as aggro, because Automate might be waiting there with the G36.
That's exactly what could happen. It was playing this side again. It's like they have stuff in place to make it difficult to push certain things, but they're not really playing it. So it's interesting to see when they do aggressive, they kind of just, you know, start swinging things. But we'll see what happens though. Grenades come through, destroy some of those mute jammers, some of the utility on site. So the mute jammer, at least on the freeze wall, is gone. Some of that bar is gone, pushing into, you know, into bar. And now Queen is droning out the enemy with one of those captured drones. Knows that one's dropped upstairs, and Queen's in a position downstairs, maybe to go for a flank. Daddy Satan, somewhat aware of this. expecting someone maybe to flank, looking down the red stairs, make sure nobody's there. Terra with the grenade to destroy the jammers on the red star inside Cocktail, make sure they can join out. And there's a good draw from Terra. Terra notices one waiting at the doorway, 2 zeros, looking to get aggressive and deal with anybody pushing into Christmas. As before, it's again, we talked about that's too easy, so now they're actually playing the side. And oh my god, Lexus K tries to peek through the white stairs window, loses the 2 zeros. And that's unfortunate start for a side of Trap Queens once again.
Comparatively to last round, though, you still have... Oh, actually, I was going to say 2 sets of nades, but they're both at 0. Automate's just pushing in once again, and she is punished for trying to make the same play as last time. She downs Brittany, but this time, Lady Brutal's like, no. I've seen this one before. Not again. Though Danny Satan pushed on in, she finds Queen, the aggressive player on Sinister. Not able to find that much aggression this time, but Sora, she's doing the automate, but this time on the left. Where was pushing up long bar for the Yana, pushing up Cocktail and landing and finding herself on the balcony for the Hibana. The second mag is not nearly as successful as the first, but Terra's success is much more stated in this round. She finds 2 zeros and takes it from the 3-3 to a man disadvantage for Sinister, made worse by the Ash. Brittany's picked back up. She was downed by Automate. She's only on 25 HP. She doesn't have a lot to her name. She's sitting in this corner, trying to gain whatever intel she can with this sound, but you can see Terra watching the angle from pallets, slowly creeping in. She's rotated to top white. As Sora gets the bomb down, it's Terra to find her in the very end. Trap Queens, they move to match point. It's looking like they might win Team Sinister's map pick if Sinister ain't careful.
Unfortunate for them. I was looking again, they get this first picks for Team Sinister. They get this aggression where they need to. They get that first pick, and then they tend to just lose control every time there's somebody from Trap Queens that somehow makes the way into a pivotal spot. First time was Automate. This time it's Terra, Sura coming in and walking through bar, walking through these rotates, which you wouldn't expect. Automate did make it the first time. Unfortunately, this time she was taken out before getting an actual kill. But still, it seems like Trap Queens are just key members of just sneaking by when you don't expect it.
Specifically on Cocktail as well. I mean, literally, Automate went for the same play twice in a row. She died. And so I was like, oh yeah? Check this out. And she did it from a different spot.
Hold my beer.
Literally. And then she just moved on. But yeah, that was... I will say... Didn't expect 2 Cocktail attack wins to come away in that fashion. By the way, those are the only 2 wins Trap Queens have on attack, and in no small part did they come from 1 or 2 members crouch walking through the site. You love to see it sometimes. But now they have to go down to Kitchen. This was a site where they didn't even have the opportunity to crouch walk in because of how many defenders were all sitting on the site watching the breach, which was the only place Trap Queens were really pushing from. And then I suggested that maybe they take a little bit of a 3D approach this time. They go for the vert, they have the sledge, they certainly have it in their capabilities to do so. But on Sinister, they brought the Valkyrie. They give us a lot more intel in the pocket of the defense, and if they too choose to play the vert, have a lot of intel at their disposal to counter anybody entering from that position.
Yeah, it's interesting. So this time looks like they're setting up for a bakery defense. They're also not really setting up a coat defense like they did last time. Coat check last time was somewhere where 2 zeros was playing, but they get killed. They're still playing it, which causes, the attack to have to clear it out. But again, it seems like this is the same as always. A down on Lady Brutal. That same grenade flies over and downs her. Starting out the round, she's gonna try and put it in. Oh, but Sura gets 2. There's a rotating out of Bakery. Both members in Bakery are now dead. That's a fantastic stuff for Trap Queens. It could spell the end of this map.
Such a beautiful nade to start things off by Automate, downing Lady Brutal. And when one of them died, I just assumed it was the Cade as I wrote down the opening pick. But 2 other members fell while I was looking down. That is a rough spot for Sinister to be in, especially since one of their remaining members is on low HP. Automate, doing Automate things, will push on in, hit the crouch, and move in underneath the nose of the defense. E-Girl's watching, though. Queen as well stops Daddy Satan. That was just the player playing behind Automate. Now she has a player to refill the position of Daddy Satan. Since they haven't droned the site, they're just moving in. E-Girl's gone on red. Now one player knows, but she gives her head up to E-Girl once again. That's Sora to fall. Now with 1:40 left, you still have plenty of time to open that wall and plenty of time to do really whatever the hell you want on the attack. But a lot of that could have been avoided. No mute on the defense. Automate could have sent a Yana clone in to drone out Lady Brutal on the Cade, to drone out Queen on the smokes, E-Girl on the Bandit. But Trap Queens opted not to. They got a little bit aggressive, got a little bit ahead of themselves, and while they're up 6-3 right now, shouldn't be the time at any point to start making those kinds of mistakes.
Well, at least at this point, Trap Queens have a lot of information. Some of these drones are placed pretty nice, and oh, unfortunately for K, that grenade will hit the corner of that little application. And Tara with a great shot in the Queen through those holes, kills one, evens up the personnel count, makes this possible for them. They know the pings are coming out, they know one's there, but they don't know one's hanging by the double door, waiting for the peek from the big window inside of prep. At this point, leaves Terra now in a 1v2. This wall is open, but of course, there's no way of opening it because, of course, it's just soft. They can't really open it. There's no destruction on Terra's side to open up that soft wall. Terra's pushing through. I don't know if the Z-pings are still there. They should know that someone's lying down, maybe in the middle, but doesn't know. Just knows one's at big door. The ping's out for her, and that's it. She's just looking around, look left, look right. Doesn't know. 20 seconds left to go. Looking around. It's just, oh my god. Ego's just lying down. Oh my god. Almost lines up. Terra takes a Lady Brutal. And Ego pops up, finishes Terra off, and wins them the round. Keeps them in this.
Wow, that was almost the map. That was almost the map right there. E-Girl. Okay, that was, I'm going to be honest with you. Almost had a heart attack there. That was scary. E-Girl just hops up. She's like, don't worry, guys. I got it. And then she just hops straight into bullets. Thankfully, managed to dodge them. Thankfully for her team. So, got the trade. But that was scary. I thought Tara was going to win that. And we'd be like, oh no, E-Girl, what have you done? But no, managed to come away with it. And overall, once again, Trap Queen's taking that take solely on the horizontal. But it worked a little bit better than last time. You had players actually moving in, able to win their gunfights. Though in large part, it was due to not only an excellent nade from Autumn, but everyone inside a bakery catching players off as they rotated to either revive Lady Brutal or just rotate back into the site. But a lot of that came down to the sloppy droning from Trap Queens. A lot of very, I wouldn't say easy positions to clear, but a lot of positions where had they known the intel, for example, had they known E-Girl on the Bandit was playing hard left, right on that wall, that's a position that is not too difficult to clear, especially if you have not only the man advantage, but the intel as well. And it was a lot of those oversights by Trap Queens that really sealed their fate in the end, just not doing their due diligence and getting a bit overconfident.
Yeah, a lot of hasty pushes from the side of Trap Queens really spoiled that round for them. If they just play a little bit slower, they just open up little holes with the Maverick, make sure they'd fully opened up that breach before pushing in prep. We had a very different round. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately for Team Sinister, they were hasty in their push. Give them the kills they need and keep them in this map because they're down 2 rounds right now. They need 2 more to get into overtime, and this is actually their map choice too, which is huge. If they lose their map choice, it's not looking good for them overall.
It certainly were not, especially since Trap Queens are clearly confident on Clubhouse. I mentioned earlier how they banned it last week and they picked it this week, so they likely have something up their sleeve that Sinister might not have been able to read into. But of course, we'll see. We'll have to see then. It's certainly not done for Sinister just yet. They've able to win Kitchen, but this is the round we have to look out for because they're not going Cocktail, going Reading Room and Dining. This is a completely new site. Of course, if they lose it, the map is over. But if they manage to win this, I think we can be a little bit more confident going into their Cocktail take if they're able to win more sites than Kitchen. Trap Queens, at the very least, they are not daunted or phased at all by this change in sight. Everything's changed but the weather for them at this point. They'll continue their aggressive roam clear and actually try and take some vertical control this time. So maybe a little bit has changed as opposed to just the weather because Trap Queens, they haven't taken a lot of that vertical. They've played mostly the horizontal, but one thing that has not changed, continuing with that theme, is somebody crouched moving up down long bar. Was Autumn and Sora. Now, in round number 11, it's Daddy Satan.
Well, they ping some out. They know one player is playing in the corner. This should be the end, but the Banshee here, and the ping comes out, and it still wins. Daddy Satan gets one. Autumn on the other side, and Whitehall gets E-Girl. And now I think both players who are roaming are now out of contention, and this roam should go in the favor of Trap Queens. I don't believe there's another play up there. I could be wrong. Looks like they're trying to shoot through those vertical holes made by the defense, trying to shoot back at these attackers that are now pushing into Cocktail. Lady Brutal sees one, can't get the shots down, backs off for the moment, not want to take that fight. And really, with a minute left, there's still quite a bit of time here for Trap Queens to make it happen. Autumn with another kill, 2-0, looking more and more. This could be the end here for Team Sinister. Queen will drop one. Autumn finally goes down inside of pillars, but there's someone above waiting for Queen if the Queen goes for that, goes for the finish off.
Autumn for now will just be crying out help to all her members on the team, like, please, don't let me be the only death in this victory. Of course, again, as I said, it's not done just yet. Queen moves on in, some bullets right to her left as the barricade falls. Has a solid angle here, and I don't think she's been droned. No, not at all. The sledge sprints across, doesn't get killed by the castle, and in fact, now they likely know that's the position Queen is playing and are in that general area. Lady Brutal opens things up. It's Queen to continue with the second, though, and it's gone from bad to potentially winnable. The remaining members of Trap Queens only have 15 seconds left. One spotted in Laundry, but she somehow misses the shots. This is perfectly winnable. They might stave off match point just a little bit longer. Sora pushing in, just barely misses Lady Brutal on the Malusi and Laundry. It's still her to come away with it, but no, it's all for naught. Trap Queens still seal it out. Got a bit shaky, went from a 2v5 to a 2v2, but they've still managed to clear out the map 7-4. Their opponent's map pick at that.
What a round, almost a clutch there from the last two members of Team Sinister. They could have taken that back, but unfortunately it's very difficult in a 2v5, trying to take fight after fight after fight and really know where to be positioned in those last dying moments of the round is difficult. So props to them to almost bring it back, but 7-4 on their map choice isn't looking good for Team Sinister. We go to Clubhouse next, and I don't know.
I don't know either. See, that's the thing. That's the thing here. I mentioned the big anomaly with Trap Queens in that they're clearly confident going to this if they're picking a map that they banned right out of the gate initially. So that they got something up their sleeve. What it is, we just don't know. Or maybe they're just crazy. Who knows? But Team Sinister, on a map like Cafe, seemed to be a little bit difficult to tackle those defenses. On Cocktail especially, they left some gaping holes in that. Sure, their strat was solid overall, at least in terms of utility, but you can't just let players start crouch walking up through the bar. And it was even the same thing on that reading room. Daddy Satan crouch walks up. Of course, maybe they didn't have enough intel, but you gotta be watching for plays like that. You can't be letting that happen. And if you're letting the same thing happen on Clubhouse, that's another map where that style of play is possible. Say you have a site like Basement, and somebody just crouch walks to the bottom main, holds the angle down long, and you don't have the intel, so then as you rotate off, you get picked. That's the kind of play that could spiral down into disaster on Clubhouse. And since that's Trap Queen's map pick, that's the map they should be the most adept on. If you're leaving holes in your defense that wide on your own map, I'm scared for what we might see on Trap Queen's map.
Also, I disagree. I don't think they had enough gaping holes on that defense.
Oh, okay. You thought they should have just sat in the site and just been like,
no, I meant that they opened up holes in the wall like we saw from Trap Queens.
Oh, okay. I mean, but again, that's the thing, is that the actual site setup wasn't that bad. The site setup was solid overall. It was just like, again, they're just leaving too much for them to take control. And really, we'll see how they do here. We go to Clubhouse, and I'm assuming Sinister has defense first. After break, though, we'll see what they haven't planned and whether Team Sinister can bring us back and bring us to a map 3. All right, everybody, welcome back. If you missed it, it's a 7-4 for Trap Queens on their opponent's map pick of Cafe. And now they're up one map. Look like Sinister are now in the ones in danger. They're in the hot seat to try and save themselves from elimination. I'm Lynx, joined by Benny out. I'm not Benny this time. I'm not both of us. But Benny, we were talking about, this other person with me. Benny, on Clubhouse, talked about a little bit of the difficulty Sinister had on the defense. Going into Clubhouse, how do you think Sinister's play on Cafe needs to either evolve or how their strengths might translate? You can tackle either one.
It's interesting because Cafe is a map where sometimes you have to be more aggressive to keep control of those pivotal sites and those pivotal, turning points and territories. In Cafe and Clubhouse is not as big of a deal. We see like Rafters is a big one, or Take Control Blue, but they're not as big of a deal. I think if Sinister keeps what they're doing and keep these, these good setups, they still could win rounds on Clubhouse compared to Cafe. That's why it's interesting that they pick Cafe as their map pick, even though their defenses seem to be lacking a little bit.
And overall, the setup from Trap Queens as well, we mentioned on their defensive half, they were very strong as well. And of course, Sinister, they had their own great setups. But right now, Trap Queens, if they're able to get up these rounds on attack, they might be the ones to come away with this. Sinister, I am happy to see, by the way, they're carrying through. They're carrying through with their cool bans. They banned the Sophia again. They might not like Sophia, but all things considered, I think this is a smart ban overall, at least on their attacks.
Yeah.
They seemed somewhat capable at dealing with it, but it was a little bit high risk, high reward. I'm just glad that we're kind of varying things up. Thatcher ban, of course, that's nothing.
Thatcher ban as always, but not another Heartbreacher ban. So all of the Heartbreachers are available. Mirror ban out next. We said before, Mirror just doesn't want to play with. No one wants to deal with Mirror. No one wants to walk and see a giant black mirror waiting for you on a wall. It's not fun. So get rid of it.
Even though you can break it now, it's like, I'd rather not break it. I
don't want to deal with it. Maestro ban out next. We saw how influential Maestro has been in these periods of times. We've seen Maestro stop plants, stop rounds, win rounds for the team. So it's not crazy to see him banned, but it leaves other options available.
It is unfortunate Automay has now had her favorite defender up banned. We mentioned how, we're talking to Brimstone during the break, how Automay just had this sudden shift where she went from sitting on the site as Maestro to crouch walking around the map as Yana. Of course, she's starting out on the Yana here, so we don't get to see what her new role will be on the defense, but she might have to take a little bit more of an active role or sit on the side on a different operator. But since Trap Queens are starting the attack, they also did not appear all that phased by that Zofia ban. They were able to keep their Yana alive for a long time so she could use her intel, and the lack of the concussion lifelines and the impact lifelines didn't seem to hurt them all that much. On top of that, you now have a Hibana in play. You either would have had a Thatcher or a Hibana in play, depending on which one they opted to ban, or which one they could have banned. But now that you have that Hibana and that Maverick as well, this Clubhouse, at least for the attackers going into the ban phase, it's looking solid for them.
Yeah, they have a lot of options now. Now that Sophia's banned rather than a Heartbreacher, there's a lot of different choices for the attackers to bring to make these happen. It looked like it was going to be a roam from the side of Sinister. They had the Vigil on board, but the Vigil gets 6 picked off. It's not a Vigil, it's an Aruni. So it's looking to be a pretty normal defense, and really they're going to seem like they're going to try to waste time, waste utility with these laser gates. Probably impact trick that, that kitchen hatch and have them waste time with it as well too. And the Kaid too, the Kaid's a big one too, having those electric claws on those hatches. It seems to be what we see. Sinister seems to be a close to chest. They're going to play on site, play near the site. And like we saw from before, they're trying to just waste utility, waste time, and really it seems to be working. But at the same point, we've seen people like Automay go off. We've seen people like Sura, Alexis. They still take control and they can just somehow get in sites and take gunfights that we wouldn't expect.
You can see with this Maverick up, we might see a gunfight. Well, I was going to say a gunfight that the defense might not expect, but it does appear that there's one player sitting inside of dirt anticipating the push in from members of the attack. Sor will try to find them, but nothing just yet. In fact, Eagles rotated out, barricaded it. It's still Trap Queens to come away with the first kill of the match. Lady Brutal falls. That was from Automay, believed to be, right below that hatch, likely going for the impact trick, but gets caught out on the angle. That's your Legion down. No more goo mines generated. E-Girl tosses up a C4, doesn't blow it just yet, waiting for the attackers to move. And if Trap Queens aren't careful, and they start forgetting about it, that C4 might kill them later on down the line.
That'd be crazy if that pre-play C4 gets a kill, actually, because there's this place there so long ago, and at this point, Trap Queens are opening up all the hatches. They're making sure they have many avenues of attack they can figure out. Alexis, though, still joining out, make sure nobody's inside a strip, because that's one place a lot of people, defenders will play. They'll hide and strip at the end of the round before something happens, but nobody from Team Sinister is there, so they should have no problem opening up this. And it looks like Alexis is trying to find maybe someone playing in Moto, Like they're trying to, they're trying to destroy the Electric Claw Moto. That's the big thing here. That grenade goes off, and yet it will actually get the Electric Claw Moto. Good work to trap Queens to get rid of that. Autumn is already starting soft, walking in the dirt, looking for anybody to kill. One's behind the box. Nobody's there for the moment though. Pings come out though. They say their information at least, and somebody's playing blue.
Daddy Satan as well, playing on the opposite side of both blue and dirt, pushing in through oil pit. This could be tricky for the players playing behind Jen. Eagle as well make things a little bit tricky, and 2-0 is trapped in just an enigma for what Autumn is bringing out. Didn't anticipate the play inside of dirt, rotated off, tried to take the fight, but is cut down by the Yana. Brittany now inside of Jen as Eagle gets the kill onto the sole dirt player, remains alive as Trap Queens haven't pushed her out just yet. Tara will finally start sending her way on down the stairs, but the barbed wire gives away her position. The goo mine as well gives away the push through oil pit. The Brittany will swing, but Brittany will whiff as well. Daddy Satan cuts her down, and now it's a 2v3 for Sinister. Make that an equalize as Sora gets punished for just sitting there, not fully aware, at the very least not anticipating the quick swing by Queen. Now with the side in control, E-Girl doesn't have her C4, but Queen has top control, and that's the big factor. Diffuser as well down below. Trap Queens have no choice but to go for these kills or try to get the diffuser and kill Queen on the top angle. E-Girl walks it right into the crossfire, right into the spray by Tara. These 15 seconds, this is all on Queen to win. She'll likely at the very least get one. Surely one kill will go her way. She's playing this so well. She just has to wait. She has it in her grasp. She blows the C4 a bit early. Loses the mag as well, has to pull out the shotgun, but still gets Tara pushing in. This will be her way. This will go Sinister's way. Oh, it hits 0-0. So at the very least, she'll start to get the bomb down, but yeah, there's no way she's coming away with it. Sinister pick up there first by the great play from Queen throughout that round in Moto.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that Queen was a big one. Eagle too. Eagle stopping the push. I think they're stopping the one player in the hatch, stopping the player in dirt as well. Eagle was huge on that to stop those two pushes. And really, that was interesting because, yeah, Sinister had, or not Sinister, Trap Queens had like almost an all-around push. People pushing down dirt, people on kitchen hatch, people coming down moto hatch, people coming down, blue as well. It was a multitude of different angles from Trap Queens, which I guess in the end was the problem because they couldn't really, they were taking one-on-one gunfights here and there, and they were in the end losing them. Well, maybe they'd lose blue, but they lost the one in dirt, lost the one in kitchen hatch, they lost the crucial one in moto, which allowed for Queen to then go upstairs and just sit on the diffuser and wait.
Defenders, protect your bomb.
That's sometimes the risk of playing in a position where you can't get traded out. The blue pressure, while it did manifest for Trap Queens, you still had the Hibana playing by herself, and Queen playing in a position where they weren't able to move in time and refrag the Hibana, take down Queen. She's able to rotate up pretty quickly. So going into this round, Sinister seemed to have a solid control of the site, even when things started going against them. Even when Autumn got that kill from dirt, they waited, bided their time, but as you said, Igor able to land that kill. You have similar positions here, I would say, in Rafters. That's a position that you need to hold, as well as just inside of construction in general. A lot of teams today, or specifically the two teams prior, Homeland, Nova, and Mirage, seem to favor taking Platwall, then rotating over to construction, not really paying all that much attention to Garage. Trap Queens are doing that. They can't let one player rotate over in a spot where they can't really be traded out. They have to start playing together, at the very least, playing together with the player with the diffuser. There's a lot of wits there, I just realized. Play with the player with the diffuser.
Play together. Play together.
It's like a series of if statements.
Well,
anyway.
So far though, a lot of damage done to Lady Brutal and Eagle with a great grenade from Autumn May, and Queen though goes down to Alexis. What a different start this time for Trap Queens. Though that's the last time Trap Queens did get the first pick last time, but still lost the round. But still, that's damage done to two members and a death already on the board for Team Sinister. At this point, it's not looking good for them, and it looks like Autumn May still joining us. See what's there. See if they can destroy that grenade. See if they destroy that shield from below, because Autumn May seems to be pretty well with these grenades. Grenade comes out. Looks like trying to destroy something from below that can't be destroyed, unfortunately. You cannot grenade red, unfortunately, for her. So that grenade will be wasted. But Tara's at work, opening up that wall. Wall's been opened up, Plat's now open. And what is the decision next? What is Trap Queen's going to go for next?
It bounces out that great nade she had, the one that damaged two people. You nade something that can't be destroyed. It's like, it all bounces out. It's all even now. But of course, you do still have two set, actually two more sets of nades. I was gonna say two more nades, but two sets because you have the Maverick and the Sledge, so four nades total. Right now they spotted the Jaeger, not on drone, but just chilling right now, just vibing next to that ADS. Brittany goes to peek, but it's Autumn May, not from the garage door, but down below inside of lounge to catch her on the peek up. Alexis K gets her second of the round. Lady Brutal also getting a little aggressive. 2-0s will finally have successful aggression by the defense, but now she's the only one left. As E-Girl falls, and she does soon after, it's Trap Queens to barrel on through, in, above, and around the bomb site and take their second round. Or their first round, actually. Excuse me.
Wow. So either way, that was huge from the fact that they were able to take control of garage. They will get kills. Autumn May playing below was a menace, dealing damage to players, grenading players, getting kills from below and lounge. Huge for them. I would say, like, really, Trap Queens opened up plat, and then on top of that, they were just getting picks left and right. And I don't know where they got the first pick onto the Womai though from. I don't know where that was from, but that's Womai is a big thing here because Brittany playing on rafters. I believe Brittany was also kind of, antsy because of the fact that she only had an ADS to her name. An ADS can't stop 4 grenades.
It certainly cannot, especially with the changes. Hey, if they're slow enough on their clear, it might waste 4 grenades, but highly improbable that it happens.
Yeah,
So,
losing
yeah.
that Womai early was probably painful for Brittany because Brittany's now like,
Brittany's in a tough spot with that little projectile denial. They'll rotate to Jim. Not gonna go CC for 2 rounds in a row. They'll try out Jim before they head back to CC. And of course, basement unlocks after this round, so they can head back down there if this one doesn't go their way either. But for this round, you still really, even though we've talked about in the last series how teams don't often clear out that cache extension as much, you really need to extend inside a cache because there's not a lot of places you can really sit on this site. You can afford maybe like 2, 3 people. Actually, only 2 people. Maybe like 1 bedroom. You get somebody logi, a couple people on the extension. You have 1 guy you can put wherever you want. But even though teams will often just kind of ignore that cache extension, you need somebody over there because not only is it an important part of the map that if you let go gives the attackers a wide array of options to move forward, it also is just you don't have a lot of room to sit on gym bedroom. You got to put the defender somewhere.
yeah, if you let because it's like vice versa. Both teams, if the attackers take it, it's strong for them. If the defenders have it, it's also a source for them to hold from. You can deny a gym plan from construction. You can deny it from cache if you're sitting in there too. So especially with the open holes they made between cache and construction, it is kind of a thing. And as I say that, we said teams don't do it, but it looks like Sewer's already going to destroy the Banshee, and they're going to start opening up these walls. Ooh, through the drone hole, almost like a shot in the foot. Sewer looks like he's going to throw a flashbang in there. I wonder if we can get this kill because they're sitting there. No, at this point they're going to get up. It's the Mute of Queen's going to get up and make sure that that's not, end up in her death. Grenade pops over, destroy them. See if they can destroy that Mute Jammer on that tri-wall or where it is. And unfortunately, you can't destroy the Mute on the tri-wall, but you can destroy it on the double wall. So that'll open it up. Queen sitting right by that is going to move over to the other side. I wonder how it's going to work out. Alexis just waiting for it. And there's the peak. Both players. It's Queen to work it out with SMG-11.
And she just hops up on the table, hits Alexis from the elevated surface. Surely she did not anticipate that one, and clearly she did. An opening pick going in the favor of Sinister. The cache extension working out as well. They've opened up the wall, but haven't done much beyond that to physically clear out the defenders from there. Now, minute 30 has been burned, and all they've achieved is they've lost Alexis K. So really, they've achieved negative numbers. Autumn May will just hop on in. That's 2-0s gone. Amazed she's still alive and might find the second, but no. Misses some crucial shots, and E-Girl gets the refrag. Brittany as well piles on for a second, making it a 2v4. Daddy Satan not in the best of moments right now. Her and Tara, at the very least, have a crossfire and an angle they can work off of. A minute as well. Tara sends an aid in. It's caught by an ADS, not a second one as well. So the Malusi will stay inside this bathroom unless one somehow manages to curve bullets in the next 58 seconds, which I don't see as a likely possibility, Benny. And so for this moment, the fuses all the way across the map. Tara and Daddy Satan don't have a lot of room to even really play together. I don't know. This is looking like a Sinister round if I've ever seen it.
There's a lot of crossfires. You get one in the logistics, you one in the bathroom, one over by construction. There's not a lot to go off of. Diffuser's off in the distance too. One in the construction finishes, or not construction. One in Logi finishes off Terra. Now it's just Daddy Satan in a 1v4. Diffuser's off in the distance. Daddy Satan's trying to find any kills. So knows one Logi, but doesn't know where anybody else is. Looking around left and right, doesn't see anybody peeking. No aggression from Team Sinister. A lot of discipline, and there it is. Ego to finish off Daddy Satan. And that discipline from Team Sinister is huge here, where there's holding on. Even Autumn May jumping through the window was an enigma, was something crazy. They still held on strong. They played well, and Team Sinister just really well at just holding still.
Now they get to go back down to basement, the holy grail of sorts. Though this round did come a little bit close. You know, it came down to that 1v2 where Queen rotated up top. She dropped the fuser inside of Moto. Still was a solid round from Trap Queens throughout. It was just that mid to late round where they really, where they really started to falter. But look at what they were able to accomplish. As I said earlier, it was solid. They all opened up those hatches. They were able to open up dirt, Terra move on in, and Automay actually managed to sit there for quite a while she was eventually dislodged. Still an important bit of map control that she managed to attain. It really was Blue that seemed to take the most time for Trap Queens to take, and even then, they managed to push Brittany out eventually. It was just the players on the side from Sinister peeking out, taking gunfights, and frying Trap Queens on angles they likely didn't expect. But if that's the only low point, is that you were getting killed in gunfights you probably didn't anticipate, of course, you should be expecting them. But if the only thing that came down to it was gunfights, just play your game again, anticipate what Sinister are going to do, and you might have a solid time. But of course, 2-0 is also on Capcan. We'll see if Trap Queens are able to anticipate the EE1Ds.
10 seconds left.
Hopefully they don't rush too fast and run right into those EE1Ds. And they always explode. Wait,
Ooh, Benny, wait.
EE1D.
EE1D is Lion. This
Yeah,
is
I'm about to say, wait, I thought
this
that
is
too. I was like, wait.
Excuse me.
and she did not.
It's EDD.
Yeah, and she denied
Forgive me.
devices. You said EE1D, and I was like, wait, isn't that?
It's
Wait,
literally
the defenders have drones now? Oh my god.
literally the same sound. It is the same sounds for all those letters,
Hey,
except one.
hey, maybe there will be a defender with EE1D. They're just gonna make the attacker stop moving.
You better shut your mouth.
Well, let's see. So last time, this is big thing was the fact that Trap Queens are so well last time in dealing with utility. Dealing with Electric Claws, they were able to grenade both Electric Claws and Moto and the Kitchen Hats pretty well in the interim in the beginning of the round, which is huge for them. They were able to get rid of the utility quickly and this is before playing the game. When they played their game, they played it so very well. It was an efficient destruction of utility, getting open hatches, opening of walls. So that's a big thing here as well. They can do that again. That was C4 again, Ego's hands. Automay is not going to get a pick off of those open holes made last time for, impact tricking. Grenade comes through, destroys it actually through the floor. Looks like I couldn't tell where the grenade dropped, but still, great work from Trap Queens to get that hatch open, destroy Electric Claw. Now Automay is going to crouch walk the way downstairs, but there's a Legion on the board, so you're not going to walk down with anybody knowing. C4 thrown out. Too short, unfortunately.
Yeah, a little bit too short, but Automay probably going down there to get a kill based on how Automay's been playing, but she baited out a C4 and didn't do any damage to her. So as far as I'm concerned, that's an absolute win, especially considering that was the only C4 on the side of the defense, or at the very least, there is one more. But it was the only one remaining in the pocket of a member of Team Sinister. It was likely from Queen. That's the one that went wide. Now Trap Queens moving on through. They've acquired this bottom main control. Also, not getting stuck out on that kitchen hatch was huge. It's clear that Sinister, there's that second C4 by the way, so it gets blown up, doesn't find anything. But it was clear that Sinister, rotating that electrical over to negate the impact trick, Terra would have had to try to Maverick it, and likely be vulnerable to the C4. That grenade, not only have they managed to open it, they didn't stall out at all. In fact, it seems they've heated up and even quickened the pace. Earl and Brittany have fallen in the time that's elapsed, the past 30 seconds or so. Sinister players on the site. Queen has retaken the position that won the round for her team last time, so it's incumbent upon Automay, or in all likelihood Automay, as she is the one with Yana, to account for this, but she's doing her thing. She's crouch walking up long hall. Who would have thunk? Automay crouch walking? I can't believe it. She even finds one. That's the mute down. There's a second in there. It's a little bit more hesitant, but she will find the kill onto the Capcan. As the bomb was going down, it's not the bomb to win. It's Automay with the G36 just doing her thing.
Flawless round from the side of Trap Queens, and they understood this time what went wrong last time, and they concentrated their efforts rather than pushing Moto or pushing through church. They had Automay just hold Moto, hold long haul, and they pushed down in dirt, got down the kitchen hatch, and got that plant down. I don't know where those first two kills came from. I believe both those players either playing Blue or Arsenal, and those were two picks that enabled them to say, hey, we've got control of this Arsenal, we've got control of our site, let's drop down and make this plan happen and deny the rotations from Team Sinister, which is exactly what they did. Great move from Trap Queens. They tie it 2-2, and at this point, we're going back to CCTV and cash, which last time was a bit dicey.
This was a little bit dicey at the very least for Sinister.
Attackers need to locate.
I was almost about to say. Oh wait, no. The nade below that Automay landed was this round, and Queen getting killed. For whatever reason, I thought that was Jim for some reason. For about half a second. It's probably because of the CC cache extension mixing things up. You know how it.
Yeah.
All right. Don't need to hit me with the 18 Yaz. I don't need that right now. No, but as you mentioned in that round, Queen losing on the Wamai put Brittany in a really tough spot on Rafters. She got cleared out pretty quickly after that, and they had They have six nades on the attack. Brittany was not long for this world. You also had some good nade play from below by Automate. Two members on the side down to low HP. And overall, this looked like a really strong attack by Trap Queens overall. Didn't even require much rotation. Just kills coming out from every single which way. And it was the pitch in garage that I think was the most impressive because it didn't actually come out from a nade. It came out from someone pushing from garage door and pushing Automate from below. The fact that they're able to take garage without actually having to use many of those nades, that's impressive to say the least, and indicates that Trap Queens are not only well versed on this map, but well versed on attacking that site.
And they have some good gun skill. Trap Queen just showing us they are pretty mechanically gifted. I got it down. Let's see what happens though. Again, it was last time it was Queen dying first, and we just saw Queen walk downstairs. So I believe Queen's the one roaming right now. And I wonder what exactly if Queen's going to come to a fight with somebody roaming downstairs. Because I believe at this point there is a bandit battery in this wall, though it should be no problem with Terra playing Maverick to get those bandit batteries. We're gonna get this wall open as per usual, and there it goes. There's the wall. It's soft now. There should be no problem with somebody opening it up. And Automate once again with these grenades. The grenade comes out, does a bit of damage to Lady Brute, but not as much as before. And there's no shield this time to really destroy either. So these grenades are unfortunately nice. It looks like Automate once again tried to open up red, but red can't be opened up from below. There's a small angle into red, I believe, but that's not too helpful, unfortunately, because that floor is soft. I made it soft hard.
Well, the floor Automate is shooting is certainly soft, and well, now I guess she is as well. Automate goes for the peak. Somebody takes the fight. Lady Brutal on the long angle through the floor, manages to down her, able to be picked back up. So it's not all done for Automate, but it is all done for Daddy Satan. She's the opening pick. Queen rotates down. There's the roaming Wamai to clean things up for Sinister. At the very least, clean up players number 3 and number 4, at least in terms of picks. It's Lexus K and Sora in a 2v5. Lexus K outside on Metal Balk has 2 windows from which she could potentially make a play. Meanwhile, Sora on the drone, taking the final minute 15, or at the very least, the next couple seconds, to gather some intel and try to make this bad situation a little bit more comfortable. But for Trap Queens, they don't have nearly the same comfortability as they did last time. They don't have the manpower to clear out rafters. At the very least, they don't have the manpower to clear it without nades. If they opt to go for it, they'd have to use Alexis K to do it. That's appear to be what they'll do. Sora rotates on in, start to burn those ADSs. There's only one of them, and now that Brittany is full blind, Alexis K is in a position to send the nade on up, but she stalls out a little bit. She's not doing it. Instead, it's Sora to rotate on up. They were baiting out the nade, letting Brittany pretend, or at least wait for the nade to come, but it never did. And Sora walks up and lands the kill. However, this is still not a good position for Trap Queens. 3 smoke canisters while there's no C4, plenty of denial, and time is not on the attacking team's side. Sora's in a position to try and rotate in with the bomb, but on 1 HP, the moment she hops that window, multiple bullets from every which way will likely fly into her body, and she won't be doing much planting after that. Lexus K, her coverage, will send a nade on in. The second one follows through to try and stop anybody from pushing out of that cache doorway. Queen fells Sora. That's the 1 HP gone. Almost hits the 180, but it's 2 zeros to land the trade. And for Sinister to continue, or at the very least, net another defensive round.
Unfortunate for Trap Queens, but great job from the side of Team Sinister. That roaming Wamai of Queen this time proved invaluable, getting those 2 kills. And also, they got the first pick too, dealing member on their side too, make it just more and more difficult as time went on for Trap Queens. They were able to just hemorrhaging members left and right, leaving him a 2v4 after they got that first kill on a Brittany. But still, yeah, at that point, it's so very difficult when you don't have the utility or manpower to go and take control of, rafters, have someone on a plat wall. Like that CCTV and cache, you need multiple members on different angles to make those attacks work. So great job to Team Sinister. They'll go to Gym Bedroom once again, and we'll see exactly how this goes out. Because last time, it doesn't seem like, the sign of Trap Queens are really able to take control of anything that round.
The Trap Queens definitely struggle on taking really any bit of control. They spent about a minute trying to clear out the CCTV and cache room. All they got was Alexis K dying. Automate on Metal Balk tried to hold the angle, but instead she vaulted on in. I think did she get a kill, or did she almost get a kill?
She got a kill.
Okay, no, she got a kill, and then she almost got the second, but then got traded out. So could have been a big play, but still, the fact that they felt that their best option was Automate sending it through a window indicates how much control that Trap Queens really had in that round, being not all that much. So Trap Queens opt to clear out this hold again. They know. Remember who you're playing against, Trap Queens. One of the players you're playing against is Queen. Her hopping up on a table and contesting a breach that's just been open in front of her is some of the least crazy stuff she has done so far in this tournament. If you remember who you're playing against and you drone that out, obviously, you know, you don't anticipate somebody hopping up on the breach, but again, remember who you're dealing with. The moment they see that Queen might be playing again, or if they even know it's Queen, but if they see this position again, try to play a little bit back. You know Sinister are going to try to get aggressive.
Well.
It's clearly Automate didn't learn that lesson.
Hey, you win the round, but not let them in the building, so I mean, it works.
That is true.
If they can't walk in the building, yeah, it's gonna work great. It'll work great. So first
Plus,
kill.
it's Automate. You don't have to worry about her crouch walking.
She's been crazy on attack. She's been fragging out. So take out their top fragger in the first 30 seconds is huge for Team Sinister. They get jacuzzi wall open, and whether or not they see a shield facing that jacuzzi wall though, so it's gonna be difficult to push this without getting shot from that. Lexus K downstairs, grenade comes through, great grenade from Lexus K, kills Queen. You don't even take the gunfight even, just blow them up.
It's kind of the logic. If as the defense, you win if the attackers never enter the building. As the attack, you can't get shot back at if you don't give them a chance to shoot back. I believe Lao Tzu once said that, but I don't know. I'm not as up to date on my philosophy. You know, Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher.
I was gonna say Sun Tzu, like the art of war. I was like, what?
No. Why would Sun Tzu talk about combat? That sounds so weird. But anyway, beside the point, Brittany is the only one left inside of the CCTV and cache extension. Queen has fallen, but she still has a fair bit. And after all, she's kind of playing her life in this position. She'll give herself away, unfortunately. What could have wasted a little bit more time. The crosshair placement, excellent from Alexis K on the sledge. The Rooney gets pretty aggro inside of construction. I don't know if I would have made that play, but at the very least, you downed Alexis K. And now that Daddy Satan's fallen, force the attackers in a rough spot. They have to choose whether or not they want to pick them back up, but she aggresses once again. It's now E-Girl in a 1v3. This looked like Sinister had a chance, but now it's Trap Queen's in the advantage. She finds one, makes it a 1v2, knows the remaining members are in cache. It's now just Sora left, but she took out the member on low HP. This was always going to be the hardest person to find and the hardest person to deal with. But now it's E-Girl in the advantage. She has the positioning, she has more health, and Sora has to come to her. Still 45 seconds left. Still an active drone on the field as well. So Sora could try to take that and find it, or find E-Girl. Take these final 30 seconds to go for some intel, but of course she does not have a lot of time. She has to make a decision and stick with it. She cannot spend any time, or at least too long, thinking about her next move. She'll pre-fire in Logi, and she might not be aware, but Frost is actually in there. She pre-fired the wrong spot. She's peeking the wrong angle. It's a 1v3 from E-Girl, hiding below the monitor. Hibana checks the wrong way, and E-Girl's the exact spot she least expected.
Looking so good for Trap Queens. They had the kills. They were making their way into sight. They didn't really have. They had more control compared to the other time when they attacked. They had control of cash. They had the kills they needed, but unfortunately, again, a hasty approach when you have the man advantage bites them in the butt. And it's E-Girl, the 1v3, like you said, to take it back, to go one for one, and deal with these members of Trap Queens. So here we go, 4-2 in the favor of Sinister, but they're now on the attack. And this is Trap Queens, map picks. I'm assuming their defenses are pretty well standard for this, because we saw in Cafe, their defenses are pretty good.
Betting heads or tails?
It's a tails.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
All right, it was tails. I guess we're going to map 3. We can wrap it up here. We can just cut the rest of the half. Doesn't matter.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a break real quick. We'll go 10-minute break.
I actually I was moving the pages of my notebook and I found a nickel in there for some reason. So figured I might as well get a good bit out of it. Anyway, beside the point. Of course, it's not done yet. This is not decided by coin flip. Though sometimes in map bans the who bans first is decided by coin flip. So there's your connection. But for Sinister, moving on to the attack. It's kind of odd how. I wouldn't say that Trap Queens, they don't look lost. They certainly seem like they have a plan, but Sinister seem much more comfortable on Clubhouse than they did on Cafe. Again, a bit incongruous with logic. You'd think they'd be a bit more uncomfortable on their opponent's map pick than they would be on theirs. But Sinister, throughout the defensive half, they looked at home, and Trap Queens, they just weren't able to push them out from a lot of these positions. Trap Queens, first side up, CCTV. They got that cave, that mute. They have this hard breach denial. They don't have the Wamai like we saw Sinister bring. So Daddy Satan, if she opts to play in Raptors, will have a little bit tougher of a time. But hey, there's only 4 nades on the attack. You don't have to worry about 6 anymore.
Oh my god, Automate is so aggressive here.
Dude, Automate needs to calm down.
Automate is lying down wing for a kill.
She needs to chill. This is... just don't take that fight.
Well,
Do not take that fight.
Yeah, Automate's gonna back up for the moment. Playing Kaid, playing very aggressive with that 1.5 AUG. But at this point, they're gonna open up this garage, and they should be pushing to open up this garage and make their way to take control of rafters. Flat wall should be opened up. It looks like Ego is using that Maverick torch to work to destroy. It looks like to destroy the mute jammers on the wall. Looks like they used both electric claws on garage. At this point now 2 zeros can go to work and open it up using those Selmas. And rather not, there's actually nobody in rafters. So what is the plan here for Trap Queens if they don't have rafters control?
Well, as mentioned earlier, sometimes teams will not. Sometimes attacking teams won't end up going rafters. They'll consider it a bit, but they'll instead open up plat, then rotate construction. So it's a little bit risky by Trap Queens. I mean, the moment they see nobody rafters, they might just push on in. You can see Queen right here. Peeking on up, they might not know for sure whether or not it's clear, but at the very least, as opposed to what I was going to say, which is maybe Trap Queens were anticipating them to rotate split instead and not even give rafters any mind. Sinister seem to be a little bit like Wall Street. If you give them free money, they're going to take it. Give them free map control. Sinister are not going to let that opportunity slide by. Brittany and Queen have moved on up. They've taken this position, and it's clear we know now where the execute's coming from. Construction is not even a figment, or not even a factor in the mind of Sinister. They are making this work from the south and the eastern side. The player on plat wall to cover, player on CC bout to cover, or at the bottom main door to watch for the C4 from below, and then somebody will push on in with that diffuser. Right now, it's 2 zeros, who's currently playing on plat. So it'll be a bit risky. She'll have to cross that red stairs door, just narrowly escapes with her life from that C4, and there's the vault on in. Brittany down below won't find anything just yet, but she's waiting, watching the flank to make sure no defender has a C4, could potentially go for the play from below. While she does that, Eagle shoots her own teammate. Queen and Brittany pick up too. It's Sora and Automé left in the 2v2. Now they both have found their own place on the scoreboard for this round. With the bomb down, of course, the attackers are a little bit segmented. They're a little bit far away, all watching their respective angles. Sora's put the smoke down, maybe try to cover some of the sound. Automé gives herself up, but does not give her life just yet. Sora goes to try and stick. They have to deal with E-Girl on this rappel, or at the very least make it more difficult to land the shots. She will land some, not enough to prove fatal, but still enough to make both defenders uncomfortable on 25 HP each. Only 2 seconds left before the bomb has escaped the vicinity in which they can defuse. Won't even reach that point as E-Girl picks up 2. Sinister picking up their first attacking round.
Looking good for Sinister, a clinical run, but unfortunately Trap Queens not landed where they just kind of surrendered rafters to the attackers, Team Sinister. And Team Sinister, like you said, they'll take that free territory control. They'll go right for the plant. And it's funny, they had control rafters and it looked like Trap Queens were expecting that, expecting the plant behind several racks. So I had 2 C4s, they had the smoke canisters, but instead of that, Team Sinister, 2 zeros walks in and plants close by the breach, right on the edge of the breach, right by plat, and they did not expect it. C4s were already thrown out and they did not get any kills. They didn't deny anything. And so at that point, Team Sinister, they just wait on the defense. They wait for the defenders to come to them and all but work. So 5-2 in lead for Team Sinister. We go back to seeing TV for Trap Queens, and I wonder what they do differently, because I don't understand why they just kind of left rafters alone like that.
We even had Automé inside a garage. It's not like they just never had anybody in there, though she was on the bottom floor doing whatever she was doing, peeking those Maverick feet holes, which I appreciate the energy. I still don't know if that was the play. I don't know how that gunfight would exactly work, but Automé was at the very least inside of garage. She just opted to rotate out. They don't have a Wamai, so holding rafters would be much, much harder because you don't have the same projectile denial as Sinister did on their defenses.
True.
But yeah, as you said, Sinister's walked in, took it for free, rotated somebody down to main floor, and there wasn't much Trap Queens could really do to stop the plant once they wasted their utility. Sinister will also anticipate Trap Queens potentially rotating somebody over to hold rafters. Now they've moved Lady Brutal to the Capital. So since Trap Queens are not bringing a Wamai, Sinister likely read into that and have brought those Capital bolts. Remember, they can't be caught by ADSs. She sends a firebolt up to the left and right of whoever might be playing there, and they're pretty much incinerated.
They're pretty much roasted, but we'll see what happens again. We're going to open up this garage wall as per usual. There's a mute jam this time, and I wonder, so Automé has 1 electric claw in her pocket. Is she waiting to use it on the breach? Where is that electric claw going to go? I know teams sometimes will try to, electric claw trick, though it is kind of difficult to electric claw trick. But it's interesting to see if that's that's a choice, or that's the reason why Automé is holding 1 in her pocket. Lady Brew will use that heart breach charge, open up into garage, and there goes the Maverick of E-Girl to open up the bomb, get rid of that mute jammer. It looks like, yeah, last time they didn't really do anything besides just destroy the mute jammer. So if Automé plays this correctly, you can get rid of breach potential by doing this. And either way, the mute jammer is actually still there, so I'm confused why they haven't shot the mute jammer. But either way, let's see what happens here. And automate could be proving to be pretty difficult. Here we go, through the wall. I don't hear anything put on the wall just yet, but automate looking to make it very difficult for the side of Trap Queens to open the wall.
One panel electrify might not be as good as two, but it's certainly better than zero. So at the very least, they can accept the fact that that left wall will get open, but that right wall surely will not. And it will make Sinister, if they choose to jump and hop the breach like they did last time to get the bomb down, they'll only have one side to deal with. And the defenders have a little bit of coverage if they want to play close on that breach. But for the second round in a row, they don't have anybody rafters. They have Automate in general proximity playing down on top of Secret and inside of Lounge, but now she's dead. Lady Brutal's caught her out, but there's one going for the rotate or the jump out from behind. It's Alexis K. She's not even refragged. Some bullets fly her way, but she manages to evade it and duck back inside the building for cover. Now there's nobody from the attack on that side of the map because they're all focused on this execute justifiably. Alexis K is free reign to rotate back up main, back onto the site, and use that C4 in her pocket. Alongside Terra and Sora, plenty of denial from Trap Queen's side, but of course, last time most of it missed. None of it really found purchase on any of the attackers, so in order to make up for the mistakes last time, they need to be a bit more cognizant and a little bit more specific with where they want to place this secondary utility and primary utility, the latter of which has all been used by Sora. The final smoke canister goes out, and it's all on these C4s. Terra and Alexis have both rotated down, and it doesn't look like Sinister. No, I was about to say, it doesn't look like they have anybody down below, but they do have Brittany and Lounge to watch for this exact play. Meanwhile, up top, Queen finds one, but Brittany's not able to counter Terra onto 2 zeros. Not able to counter Alexis either. It's the gunfight to get the second, and now Queen only has E-Girl for coverage, and none's below! Alexis K blows her sky high. She'll entry in from flat, but still only 3 seconds left. The fuse are not in her hand, and the defenders a floor below. It's Trap Queens to answer back to Sinister's round with one of their own.
So that definitely seems to be the plan for this time. It was a much more well executed plan from the side of Trap Queens. They will hold control of Lounge, allowing them to use that C4 from below. I did, theorize that maybe that was the plan. They knew they were going to take control, and they were just waiting for that by holding below. But unfortunately, last time, first round, Team Sinister had all of their T's crossed and their I's dotted by taking control of Lounge, having people on plat wall. And a really good adaptation from the side of Trap Queens was having that one Electro Claw available to deny them from planting close at the breach and also just walking through the breach and being that close up. So really big on Trap Queens. Great way to figure that out and change your strat. Even if it was still pretty much the same, they figured out little bits to make it different and still the round. Also, winning some of those fights are key differences in this round.
Well, going off of winning those fights, I don't know if this was planned by both Automate and Alexis K, or if it's just Alexis K taking advantage of the moment. But the way Alexis K jumped out that window and managed to take advantage of the main door coverage, killing Automate, landing that trade, that was the big defining moment in the round for me, because last time, Sinister had down below completely in their hands with that player playing outside main door. But Alexis K jumps out, gets that refrag, you now have nobody playing down below. The only one is Brittany, and she has to rotate down, and because she was in garage and had to rotate, she misses the C4 in Lounge. So that's probably the biggest gunfight of the round for me, in all honesty. The fact that Alexis K is able to land that trade, that allowed for all of the C4s from below, and what stopped the plant? Both times it happened. Now moving to basement, another site that has been won in this very map by gunfights as opposed to utility. Hopefully Trap Queens, they want to win. Hopefully they're shooting the same.
Hopefully.
Not faltering.
Not faltering. Not falling from a gunfight. Not being scared to take aggression, take fights.
Not shooting your teammate in the face.
That was funny. They shot
Don't getting too crazy.
Let's see what happens though, because it looks like there's already some aggression. So, oh my god, where are these gunfires coming from? There's a crossfire onto Sora from.
Is it a blender?
It was dude, all the way from the kitchen wall. In the kitchen wall, you had someone shooting the main door. You had someone shooting.
That seemed unnecessary.
I don't know what happened there, but you got.
That just seemed like a lot.
I don't know where you got caught from. You caught from like 5 different people. Oh my god, Automate, you're crazy and you're dead.
All right. Okay.
I know you lost someone early, Automate, but you can't just walk up to the breach and try to shotgun somebody.
Sora, I get. Sora got caught off guard. Hey, it happens to the best of us. Automate trying to peek. I mean, she was trying to, assuming that the Maverick was the only one over there, she was trying to catch out the Maverick while he was opening up that hole. Unfortunately, there were 2 people there, and the hole wasn't even open up, so just a little bit of a misplay by Automate. Alexis K, at the very least, will try to stop the bleeding, finds Queen on the entry into Dirt Tunnel. Of course, there is still 1 to 2 people over there, so her job is not done yet. There are 2 people currently sitting outside on drones, but they're both the Hibana and the Maverick. I imagine they'll probably rotate to other parts of the map, open up some hatches, I would assume, because you don't want to just send one of your hard breachers down dirt when there's plenty of hard breaching to be done. We'll see some of that here. 2-0 is opening up that hatch. Blue hatch as well. And with Lady Brutal on the Capitao, could make quick work of the player playing behind Jen. But this dirt push continues to be an object of fascination for the attack as there's, once again, 2 people over there and 2 people pushing on through.
They have kitchen hatch open, so they can make this dirt kitchen hatch work out. I hear something in the back and going off. Looks like a firebolt was sent by kitchen hatch onto somebody playing behind boxes, but nobody's there. Looks like Lady Brutal. She's trying to find somebody playing by boxes by tower. Alexis K has moved away into dirt, and the shield is actually almost kind of helping E-Girl at this point. At the point she turns around, Alexis K taking fire, and now behind him, E-Girl to take out Alexis K. She goes down. Tara taking shots from above. Playing very aggressive, no C4 in hand, flash comes out, and this control of dirt is huge here. 2-0 takes out Tira. Now just Daddy Satan getting burnt alive. No HP left after running through that fire in a 1v3. Looking around, doesn't know where anybody's playing from for the moment, but it should be a dirt kitchen hatch drop right now. Here comes the drone out where Daddy Satan is, and they figured out where she is. So this should be a pretty easy finish here for for Team Sinister. Dropping down, getting that plant down. No C4 hand, so Daddy Satan has to walk through the rotate and try and take a fight with the planter. Holding from the side, there's the 1 holder. 2 goes down. Daddy Satan takes 2, and now just a 1v1, but the plant actually does go down at the last second. Daddy Satan now has to take a fight, but there's time to take it for you. You can take it slow. Pistol in hand, can't finish this fight. Lady Brutal take that fight, and Team Sinister on match point.
I thought she had it there. The planer and the coverage both lined up. Maybe should have taken a couple seconds, hit the reload, but that was a position where it likely felt some of the pressure. Wanted to try and get that gunfight as quickly as possible, take the Capitao off guard, but still good on Daddy Satan for making it that far. The end of the round 3K, of course, in the end, they were impactless, but still a good attempt nonetheless from Trap Queens. But Benny, we're in a position that I don't think either of us expected.
Hey,
we saw Cafe.
We're going to Villa.
We saw Cafe. We're probably going to Villa. On
I
Cafe.
don't want to jinx anybody, but Team Sinister has quite the grasp on their attack compared to the defense.
No, they have been absolutely killing it on their clubhouse attack so far, and that's part of the reason why I think we're gonna get a map 3, because it's just I feel like I've used this phrase a lot recently. I don't see Team Sinister not winning at least 1 attacking round in the next 3. Now, of course, teams have been down or up by greater margins. That phrase has been said, and yet it's happened. So, can Trap Queens win 3 rounds in a row? They haven't managed to do it yet. They haven't managed to win 3 sites in a row, let alone 3 rounds in a row. But this was the team that also went toe-to-toe with Goo Goo Dolls, who, at least from my perspective, seemed to be one of the favorites to not only make it far in the tournament, but win the whole thing. So Trap Queen's able to go toe-to-toe with them. This seemed like once they won Sinister's map pick, they should be able to clean it up. But Sinister, as you said, on their attack, something has clicked on Clubhouse. They just seem that much better. And at the very least for me, of course, Trap Queen's managed to come back. Maybe we can talk about this point at a little bit of a different angle, but they seemed confident enough where they banned it automatically last week, picked it here. I'm wondering what changed, because at least from their perspective, I don't know, it seems like maybe it was a misplay in the long run.
Hard to say. I just want to know how they killed Sora last round.
Well,
They just double fired, and they just drone her out, and they just pre-fired it, because that was crazy. That was literally insane. Oh, we'll see what happens this time, though. Looks like Sora isn't playing too aggressive upstairs, so they're not being caught up. But Automate again is just waiting somewhere to take this fight. Has a C4 in hand, could throw the C4 out and get a kill. Looks like the sledge of Queen is trying to find angle. And oh my god, Automate is just waiting for someone to peek. The head of Queen is right there, but unfortunately a little bit too far. And oh my god, Automate peeks out. Can you find him? And no, unfortunately, E-Girl's ready for the fight. ADSing down and sees Automate, finishes him off, finishes her off, and takes that first pick for side of Team Sinister.
Automate, having her Maestro ban, has decided, you know what? Nobody's safe. And then she gets, opening picked a couple times, but we don't need to talk about that last part. Not having the Maestro, I guess Automate has just decided to throw caution to the wind in some engagements, but 2 rounds in a row, she's gotten really aggressive inside of dirt and kind of left Alexis K out to dry. She's now by herself, and while she did manage to take Queen out on the entry, you could have two people in and around dirt, but since you keep getting aggressive on those walls, you're now leaving Alexis K by herself. Sure, she has a C4, but it just makes it easier for the attackers to clear her out. Also makes the attacker's job a little bit easier as well. They don't have to worry as much about the C4s, and while there's a Valkyrie on the board, Sinister are quickly moving on through to open up these ceilings and opening up these hatches. One C4 will fly out inside of Moto, put Queen down to 25 HP, but it's still man advantage for Sinister, and going into the final minute, seem to be just about ready to start making the push down to basement.
Yep, here we go. Blue is the intent right now. They have a captain on the board. Lady Brutal, she should be able to use that, but she's actually pushing down into dirt. Alexis K is under fire, but there's a Banshee at least within her grasp to help her out. And yeah, within that, looks like they're waiting for it. They know she's going to peek off of the Banshee. Lady Brutal, fantastic game since they know she'd peek off it. Kills Alexis. They have control of dirt. And surprisingly, I wonder if they can influence the person in blue from dirt to help them out. But no, it doesn't matter anyway. Trying to rotate out. Daddy Satan taking up by Brittany above is a 5v2. It's Sora and Terra now in a 5v2 to keep them alive in this map, where they're going to map 3. Terra Hair in blue by herself, and a person above on the hatch, person coming from dirt, and Sora sees one. Sora the great kill onto the sledge of Queen, and now at this point 2-0 is getting the plant down. Terra's trying to put her on the side. She has a C4 in her hand. She's going to try and deny the plant, but no, there's a shot from dirt, shots from kitchen hatch. It's Sora now in a 1v4, going upstairs, didn't take control of kitchen, but they're ready for it. Hitting on top of the bookcase, or not the bookcase, on top of the table is E-Girl, waiting for this fight. Sora doesn't know when there it is. E-Girl finishes off Sora, and Sinister will take map 2.
And we will, in fact, be going to map number 3 of Villa. Of course, we said earlier, if the first series was close, surely this one would be as well. But I think we all thought maps 1 and 2 would be a little bit more of a contest for both teams. And especially after the victory, or Trap Queen's victory on map 1, they would probably take map 2, albeit still at a close margin. But no, we do have map 3. And it's Trap Queens to take their opponent's map pick 7-4, and then Team Sinister to take their opponent's map pick 7-3. Today has certainly been an odd day in terms of these map score lines, but we do have map 3, so we're going the full distance for both series today.
Full 3 maps in both series, and yeah, it's so interesting. These maps have been these maps have been one-sided for either team on both maps. So this time, rather than be the map they picked, it's the map they didn't pick. It's the map, it's their opponent's map choice. And again, we have the question: so why did they pick Clubhouse, even though they banned it last week? Hard to say. Could be very different things. Maybe they practiced. Maybe they were feeling confident after banning it last week, and they want to bring something out. But we'll see what happens. Hard to say. But I'm definitely interested to see how these people do on Villa.
Especially on a side like Villa. On the attack specifically, we saw players like Automay going for a lot of nades from below, or just really going for a lot of vertical play in general, specifically from below on sites like CCTV. And that'd be an interesting take on a map like Villa, who has a lot of soft floors, that has a lot of potential to go for vertical play from below, but we don't see teams often execute that to the fullest effect. Maybe on a side like Trophy Statuary, somebody will go below to destroy a Mute Jammer. Maybe on AVG, somebody will go below to destroy a Mute Jammer or a Kate Electroclaw. But nobody really plays from below all that much anymore, even go for nades for below all that often. So hopefully on map number 3, that's a nice, fun twist we'll see. Sort of a play style that isn't as common as it used to be.
Yeah, we see maybe like a buck going below here and there, but nothing as prevalent or as common as someone like being grading the floor every single time. It was only like when they pushed like Trophy Touchwood, like you said, that was the only time they brought like a buck, short electric claw, on like the triple wall. They always saw, so definitely interested to see how effective they are in attack. I don't know what the sides are. I didn't really look, but actually, I'll look right now. Actually, probably know right now.
So Trap Queens are starting out defending. Team Sinister are attacking. Hey, and it was guess what the sides were decided by? BOT
coin
sides.
flip.
Coin flip.
Did they flip a dime?
Also, I did coin flip and say we're going to map 3.
Hey, you were right.
All I'm saying.
Also,
I flipped the coin. And Trap Queens didn't win a round after that.
Wow, you jinxed them. What'd you get?
Pen drop right there. No, I mean, I had nothing to do with it. But overall, again, we have map 3 coming up in just a little bit. Remember, this is a loser's bracket match. This is deciding who gets to move on and who will get eliminated from CCSW. And trust me, based on how these maps have gone, I doubt you'll want to miss it. We'll be back after a short 5-minute break. Don't turn off that screen just yet. Map number 3 to decide which team will join Homeland Nova in the in the elimination box for who will find their short path cut during CCSW. I'm Lynx, joined by Benny Ow. And Benny, it's taking all 3 maps today. 6 maps today.
Yep. Well, all 3 maps are going the distance every single match. These teams have blown each other out left and right through these maps. It's interesting to see that, first match, they took their map picks. You expected. This match, nah. Nobody knows how to play the map pick. They only play their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, they get super amped up. They're like, all right, guys, we're gonna take them home on their turf. And then they're like, oh wait, we left the back door unlocked. That's unlucky. So it has been kind of an odd series, but we are going to map 3 of Villa. I believe the map we started on today. Be the map we end on today. You always love to see the level of symmetry. We did actually. I'm having another anxiety moment where I'm like, wait, did we play Villa? Yeah, we did. It was the one Mirage started on. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Benny, I know it has been quite a long time, and your memory is not what it used to be in your younger days, but Villa was the first map played. It was Mirage's map pick. Remember?
Oh, who won the map?
Call Mirage. They won it. Then Homeland Nova won on Clubhouse. Then Mirage won 7-0 on the final map. Now, of course, if you're not aware, we're casting Team Sinister versus Trap Queens. Team Sinister. Yeah. They lost their map pick at Cafe. Trap Queens lost their map pick at Clubhouse, and now we're on Villa.
Oh my god. So, by transient property, is someone just going to win 7-0?
I don't think that's how the transit property works. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's how that works. If one team had beat Mirage, and Mirage had beat the other team, then maybe Team A would have beat Team C. That would be the transitive property. In this case, Benny, I thought you would have gotten this. Didn't you like math for the military or something?
They don't do math in the military. You are.
Well, my bad. I thought
I think you're thinking if I went to college, some people would think they would.
Oh, maybe there was some long division in there somewhere, I don't know, coordinates.
Who does math? No, just have a computer do math for you. Why would you do math?
That's true. This is the 21st century. I did forget.
Exactly.
But of course,
why would I trust my brain to make a mistake when I just have the computer do it for me?
I can hardly even trust my brain to remember what maps we played it at. I feel the need to consult the scrolls, the ancient text, to remind myself that I'm not going crazy and that I do have an okay memory. But we are getting in the map, of course. It is map number 3 of Villa. To decide who is also going home today. Homeland Nova, they just went home. It's either going to be Sinister or Trap Queens. I think it'd be a bit of surprise if Trap Queens, the team who took Goo Goo Dolls to task, was the second team. But Sinister put up a great fight today, and if they managed to make it through, or if they even get eliminated, they can at least take solace in the fact that they've had a hell of a series so far. So, Villa, Sinister on the attack, Trap Queens on the defense, and a Thatcher ban first up, is what I'm assuming.
No, it's facing it. Well, Thatcher ban. Trap Queens is going to ban Thatcher.
Trap Queens are
ban Sophia.
Yeah.
And then
Trap Queens are banning.
Sinister's going to ban Mira, and Trap Queens is going to ban Valkyrie.
Do keep those bans in mind, because if he gets them wrong, Rob will come on the stream and fire Benny.
Oh, I thought you could sue me, but that works too.
I feel like one is much less expensive than the other. Why would they sue you? Just
I don't know. Getting Rob on stream is pretty expensive, actually. I don't know about that.
That's true. Actually, he's a very busy man.
Summoning Rob Walker is actually a very expensive process.
Yeah, it's kind of like Full Metal Alchemist. You have to it's like Law of Equivalent Exchange. But
yeah,
it's just a lot.
Those other worlds shows. We gotta create a giant circle and summon Rob by chanting some crazy.
We've taken a weird turn in this before the match has started. So first bans, you are correct though. They were Thatcher and Sophia. There you go. You've lost your job. Congratulations.
Home.
Sit down. Okay, he's actually just walking off. Okay, that's kind of weird. Come back, Benny. You just got a sure SM7B. You can't stop casting yet. Hey, you got one of the final bans. You said Mirror, right?
I did say Mirror, so I got Mirror right. I just didn't get Valkyrie right.
3/4 is. Wait, was C average or below average? Because I know
I should have guessed that they banned Maestro. Makes sense because they caused Automate to play like a maniac.
Automate on the defense was a fever dream on map number 2. Let me tell you.
I should have guessed that. I totally forgot.
There were a lot of things going on that I don't know. That was Automate. Here's what I'll say. Automate was getting very, very, very excited. And on the attack, in all fairness, it's not like that style of play that Automate was employing on the attack was getting punished all that much, especially on map number 1. But on map number 2, though specifically on the defense, it was getting punished a lot more. So for Automate, I probably would have gone into the same situation being as confident as she was. But now map number 3, this is where expectations get tempered. This is the decider. This should be neutral ground for both teams, at the very least in theory. So the Automate won't be getting as aggressive. She is on pulse, so unless she runs out, I have a feeling we're gonna see her stay inside the site.
Usually you expect her just to, just to pulse out, give her teammates information, but we're on kitchen and dining. We're gonna probably see Trap Queens play upstairs and play an aggressive role, maybe somewhat aggressive. Sora saying rehost for something. I don't know what's going on there, but it's unfortunate. If there's a rehost this early in the round. Let's see what happens here and whether or not we rehost or whether or not we see Sinister tackle this roam from the side of Trap Queens.
It appears that one of the players on Trap Queens has a skin on. I do appreciate, by the way, the fact that they're like, hey guys, actually left the skin on. That's our bad. Rehost has not, there we go. Right as I was about to say, it has not been confirmed. It will be confirmed. So we'll have a rehost for that illegal skin. I thought we might just see, the normal solution, which is one of the players just domes the other player. But on a map like this where elimination is on the line, you don't want to TK. You just call the rehost. Play it safe.
Easy peasy.
Don't kill your teammate.
Well, they're going to take time and reset up that game and put in the bans and reset this game up. We'll have a quick timeout and you'll see our faces here once again. We're going to talk about some crazy things like what it takes to summon Rob Walker on your stream. You can do it at home.
I believe it's 20% gold, 40% love.
Okay.
But the final 40%, it's $5.
Oh, I think you say a tier 3 subscription to CCS on Twitch.
Well, you see, I was going to that. If you do subscribe to Twitch, I don't know if it is exactly for $5, but if you do a tier 3 sub to Twitch, you can get the CCS charm in game. We haven't actually plugged it yet, so I feel like we might have done Rob a little bit of disservice. He might come on the stream, but not in a pleasant way. But there's the CCS charm in game. It is a great charm, by the way. It is.
You have the charm?
It looks real nice. I actually don't have the charm.
You know how I got my charm? I got it in a giveaway from Titangles. Thank you, Titangles, once again, for that charm.
You just are you beholden to Titangles now?
No, Titangles was doing a giveaway on his Twitter where he puts in he gives you the code but takes out 2 things on it. It's like, hey, the 2 things are 2 numbers if you guess it.
Oh, you managed to guess it?
Yep, I managed to guess it. I got that charm.
It's actually kind of cool.
Thank you, Titangles. You're fantastic.
That's actually kind of cool. I'm not even gonna, because normally I don't enroll in giveaways because I'm like, I'm gonna lose anyway, and I don't want to retweet something.
If it was
on
like
my
a
account.
normal
Look
one, I
stupid.
wouldn't do it, but it was like a guessing thing. You might as well guess it.
If it's a game and there's almost like a competitive side to it,
Might as
I
well.
I
Might as well
appreciate
give it
that.
a try. Nothing to lose besides your sanity.
But again, there's a T3 sub on Twitch to CCS Esports. You can get yourself the beautiful charm in game, and I will say, I actually think I might. Normally, I don't subscribe to a lot of Twitch channels just because I don't like spending money all that often. But it is a nice charm in game, and I do love CCS. So I'm going to subscribe. You should as well. You specifically. I'm talking directly to you.
You'd be a tier 1, tier 2, tier 5 sub, and you'll get the charm.
I don't think they even have tier 5 sub. It's just tier 1 through 3, right? I'm not a
sure
Twitch
tier
guy,
1
so I
through
wouldn't
3.
know.
Maybe tier 5's hidden. I haven't seen it yet.
Tier 5 is hidden like T5 Siege. You got to go into the depths of the RSA Discord to uncover where T5 is.
All right, here we go again. They're going to see the teams pick the same operators, and they're going to restart this thing. We're back on Dining Kitchen for Trap Queens, and we're going to see exactly... Actually, wait, do they have to pick same operators?
I believe they do. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Of course, we will have... So we'll see the 6 pick come out. Automate goes to the pulse.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. We're all abiding by the rules here. I am... After all, both of my parents are lawyers, so I believe that does make me a legal professional. I would know if anybody was breaking the rules here.
So you could sue me.
I could not sue you. You kidding me?
Well, your parents could, on your behalf.
Here's a bit of legal advice. If I were to sue Benny, it'd be a dumb idea for Benny to defend himself. Don't defend yourself. You might think you're Will Hunting, but you're not Will Hunting. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy. There's a reason lawyers exist. Don't defend yourself. That's some Carter Links NFL advice right there.
This has been Carter Links on late night advice.
Late night advice on CCSW. Don't defend yourself. Please get a lawyer.
Please get a lawyer. All right, well, here's here again. We can talk about this roam here from the Trap Queens, and of course, there's gonna be Queen saying "suck one" Tara. Apparently, I don't know what happened, but I don't
know what Tara did. Tara said LMAO, and then that was all this aggression coming out.
I have no clue what's going on. Maybe they shot their the root jammer when they're trying to destroy a drone or something like that. I don't know what happened, but let's see how Team Sinister tackles this roam and what they're gonna do, or if they can tackle the roam. Maybe we're gonna see earlier where they just rush pantry. We saw from I believe Mirage, right? Mirage rush pantry.
It's almost like a half rush. They rushed, they got all the way up the stairs, but they didn't actually follow through. I think they just got
True.
a pick, then rotated back down, and then they actually went up the stairs later on. Would expect from Sinister, based off where they're positioned, excuse me, they are taking this a bit more normal, or a bit more standard. Might be going for a horizontal, though, not a vertical. You see some people stationed outside main door. E-Girl and Queen positioned on this western side of the map, outside of library and living room, respectively. Lady Brutal actually making it into library, moving behind these two drones. So it's a horizontal push. These always can be a little risky on any site, but specifically on this, you don't get that sledge from above. Not only will that pulse have much more free reign to move around, you also have the roam up top that could, once you move on in, rotate back down and hit you from the back, and that's not a situation that anybody on the attack ever wants to be in. You never want to have defenders in front of you, to your sides, and behind you. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, especially too if they understand that they're not pushing, vertically whatsoever. They could also make floor rolls themselves to deny the plant from above. That's also a big thing too. A lot of people don't really understand. Like last time in Mirage, they pushed. They had people still upstairs in bathrooms, so they had angles right into pantry to deny the push in. And Terra playing close up on the door with a shotgun. Well, it wasn't a shotgun. Ooh, and they got that new team secret shotgun. Looks like a black ice though, in my opinion. But either way, let's see if Brittany can take this fight and win this though. But it should be information for the team. And this shotgun pulls out. Terra just walks by, dispatches Brittany, walks back in, walks to Memorial, and that's a great start for Team, or not Team Sinister, but Trap Queens. And information galore. Daddy's staying with another into Queen, and this information is huge for Automate. And the bullet hole kill, maybe? It looks like they made a drone hole. Looking for a drone hole kill.
By the way, you don't have to look for too much at this point, as it's getting a bit harder to find members of Team Sinister. The supply of Team Sinister attackers is becoming scarce, and the price is rising. Especially, it'll rise even higher after Igor gets killed through that drone hole, Benny. I assumed it wouldn't matter, but it did. Now, that is, I believe, on me. Now it's all on 2 zeros as well. Lady Brutal falls to the P10 Roni. We'll see the ace walk up pantry, then immediately drop back down, likely taking an effective tactical timeout, as the first round has in no way, shape, or form gone the way of Sinister. Tried to enter the site, tried to enter the building, had some success. The moment they tried to enter the site, that's where the success started quickly slipping away.Maybe they should have taken a bit slower, try to take that up top and clear out that roam, but at the very least, it was just Sinister not doing the due diligence, not droning Terra inside of Memorial. Overall, I think this is a smart play from 2 zeros. Just chill, talk about over things, and at least be happy that it's only one round.
Look at smiley face. Look at that. And also, yeah, nobody from Trap Queens took any damage that round. Oh, unfortunate for Sinister.
All right, that's
okay. Well,
TOS
you
right
can't. We're on a family-friendly stream. 2 zeros. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Family-friendly stream. I was giving legal advice 3 minutes ago.
Family-friendly stream. I was trying to tell
These
you
are
how to.
some chaotic children we're talking to.
I was trying to tell you to summon Rob Walker. That's pretty crazy. You shouldn't do that.
So for that round for Sinister, I mean, you might have a different perspective, Benny, but that horizontal push, obviously, it did not work out whatsoever. But it didn't even really come down to those roamers up top. Sinister, they just tried to take gunfights on the site, and they lost them. Of course, that can be counteracted by acquiring map control up top, but it's one of those rounds where they decided, hey, we'll push on the same floor as the site without clearing out up top. And the defender's like, okay, well, we'll just play our crossfires, play our trades. Oh, we don't even need to play the trades? We've killed everyone? Oh, well, there we go. That's our round win right there. We got one.
Yeah, I kind of think maybe like you said before, it's maybe a bit too hasty, and they didn't really use any utility at all. Like they didn't try to open Memorial Wall, like maybe Ace, or they didn't try to open up like Anju Wall. It kind of wasn't really much of anything from Team Sinister around, really just kind of walking by through main hall, walking into certain areas, trying to take fights, and unfortunately none of them worked out for them. So let's see how they do this time. Go upstairs to Aviator Games, and we'll see exactly, we'll see what they do differently, and if they're going to go for, like we saw earlier today, where a lot of teams are going for that north to south take, where they take control of statuary, take control of trophy, take control of master bedroom, make their way into by vault, by skull door, go for that plant behind the vault door. There was at one time though we saw a team try to go for that main stairs take, which in the study take, which is, it's so hard to do these days.
I think unless they're going for, which they're not, but if they were going for a straight main stairs rush, if they were trying to do a take, that probably wouldn't be the play. There's an Echo and a Valkyrie on the board, and if you don't acquire that control over by Vault and inside of 90, you give, at the very least, the Echo, but potentially the Valkyrie as well, much more freedom inside the site. But they are doing that master bedroom take, where they clear from this side of the map all the way on over. Of course, one of those players I mentioned, the Valkyrie, she's not playing in the site, she's playing down below, likely inside of Kitchen, to play for that C4 from below. Maybe one of the members on the side of Trap Queens on cameras feeding intel to Alexis K to go for a C4, but right now she's just inside the site. Maybe not even going for a C4, or not inside the site, inside kitchen. Kitchen was just the site we saw. But she's just sitting there, likely trying to gain some intel and maybe go for that C4 from below if she has the requisite intel.
Yeah, Alexis right now just walking around dining. I'm waiting for a call of one of her teammates to make something happen. Terra, I see Terra right now on the cams. Maybe to give some info to Alexis to go for that C4. Queen's already made her way into Statuary, lying down and wait. I don't know if any intel where these these Valkyrie cameras are. But Alexis just kind of waiting in wait. I don't know if he's waiting through the C4. She's waiting maybe to run up. Oh, this is C4 thrown.
Oh,
Blows up, but I don't know until it looks like they didn't have any real intel. They're going off of sound, and unfortunately will not get the kill onto Queen. C4 gone, and I don't know if Alexis now is coming up Astral Stairs for a flank or what the plan is now for Alexis.
will take out a drone, and that combined with the C4, excuse me, Sinister will know that in all likelihood, somebody might be downstairs, either inside of kitchen or around library. They'll likely station some people to watch the flank and make sure that the Valkyrie is not able to go for a flank and try and correct her mistakes of the missed C4 earlier on. Some intel found on the Jaeger, but that's a problem for another day. Right now, the most immediate issue for Sinister is this vault wall. Only a minute left. I believe they might have got that mute jammer. Yes, they did. Taken off the wall. Those Selma charges opening up. That's a critical rotation for the defenders on the site that's now completely cut off. And where Sora can play on the Echo is also a little bit more uncertain. Not at all the safe haven as it once was. It's currently Terra on the Wamai to still hold steadfast in that position to win the opening duel for Trap Queens.
Alexis K with another run to E-Girl, and so far it's not looking good for Sinister. They're trying to make their way through, but these gunfights still going in the way of Trap Queens. Terra with another Lady Brutal, denying Vault door, but Queen takes out Alexis finally, who maybe was on the flank or playing on site. But either way, it's now 2-0 in Queen to try and take a 2v4 win these fights. Terra is still playing Vault, winning every single fight. Finally, her reign of terror is taken down, but they're quickly dispatched by Sora. 1-for-1 is now a Queen in a 1v3. Queen walks through, doesn't see anybody by Vault, doesn't see anybody. Knows one person playing behind Bark. You see the thing comes up, coming down. Classical hallway right to our right. Shots coming through. Queen gets one kill, can't get the second on the Daddy Satan, and Trap Queens will take another defense.
A lot of that round came down to Vault, but not on the side you thought it would. See the Vault wall opened up. That's that rotation cut down. A power position for the defenders to play in. Terra saw that wall get open. She was like, you know what? I'm not leaving. Like Jordan Belfort. She just stood there, and she did not leave. In fact, she killed 2 people from that position and even just wasted a little bit of time just sitting there waiting for the attackers to peek her. As she was causing chaos inside and outside of Vault, the rest of the defense appeared to win their gunfights with everyone else on the other sides of the map. Overall, Sinister did a good job taking that map control over on forward, but when it got to that Vault, Terra caught them off guard, almost in a similar way to how Queen took Trap Queens off guard on the CC extension last map, when the front wall got open from CC2 Cash, got up on the table, killed somebody. And that surprised the attackers pretty heavily, and they stopped at that point. It's basically what Terra did there. That Vault wall got open. She said, no, you don't. Shot 2 people, and that seemed to be the round for Sinister because they stalled out. Didn't have a lot of map control beyond that, as 90 control was almost entirely dealt with by the Wamai.
Yeah, very true. Unfortunately, a lot of these attacks sometimes come to be very, unfortunately one-dimensional attacks where they only have control of so much. There's nobody on that study side, unfortunately. There was nobody on main stairs. So it was just, at that point, Sinister Trap Queen just had to know, hey, we just got to face this direction. Throw smokes at Skull door. You can sit by Classical and wait. Vault's still in the hands of Terra. Terra's out there like a steel wall and stopped every person walking through. That was an obstacle that could not be surmounted until the end of the round, where at that point, too many people were dead already. 2 people hemorrhaged on the side of Team Sinister. So unfortunate for Team Sinister. We'll go to Trophy Statuary for our next defense here for Trap Queens, and so far they've been pretty good. Trap Queens have done their defenses pretty well. Some aggression that is calculated in times rather than displaying some crazy aggression that we've seen. Oh, unfortunately, Brittany sees someone run by. The Jaeger of Daddy Satan runs into Vault as they peek the doorway, and so at this point, unfortunately, knows at least one person roaming by this this extension, this games and aviator extension.
Playing by yourself, this is always a tricky position inside of AVG. It's not a bad extension by any means. It's just, if you're playing by yourself, especially with intel that the attackers clearly have on where she is playing, you could find yourself pinched pretty easily. But as I just saw, she's not alone. Sora is just around the corner playing at Skull Doorway on cams, and there's still some ADSs and barbed wire to give some sound cues as well as deny some projectiles to make Daddy Satan's life a little more amenable inside of Vault and inside of AVG. And in fact, it's her coverage of Sora to find the first kill. Alexis K as well, all the way inside of 90, gets the second. That's the two entries, Brittany and Queen, the Ash and the Sledge, and now the Nomad on the flank watch as Sora rotates into study. The entry was solely from that south side of the map, and all three members were cut down almost silently in the night with little to no recourse from Sinister. Fortunately for E-Girl, Daddy Satan is caught on the rotate, didn't expect Iana at that angle. That was a bit of a cheeky kill. Wasn't solely outplaying Trap Queens, though was a good cutoff, and Alexis K has also felled on the cutoffs by E-Girl as well. A double kill for the Iana so far. Has managed to find two, has to find one more in order to even it and equalize the man count, but hey, this is a little bit farther than I thought they would be.
Yeah, at this point it has to be a rotation from them, E-Girl and 2-0 looking to push this master better in this bathroom, take control, maybe open that wall up, but there's still Terra with Electro Claws. It's going to prove difficult, probably impossible to get this wall open if Terra is able to sit there. Terra may have the work of the ADSs by her too, so I'm not sure if a grenade will be able to flush Terra out either. With only 45 seconds left to go, is a lot of work to be done here. Terra's sitting there also with C4 in hand. So at this point, 2-0 is looking around, make sure, I don't believe any drones are left. They have 3 drones to their name. So there is little to zero information for Team Sinister at this point. They have to dry peek everything. And beware, there's a C4. Perfect time by Terra. She blows 2-0 to the sky. And it's now, at this point, it's E-Girl and try and make this happen in a 1v3. Not much to her name here. She has 2 grenades to her name to try and do something with. But otherwise, Smoke Cancer is doing a lot of damage. Playing behind the shield, sees the point, but Smoke Cancer pushes right through, causes E-Girl to run into Terra. Terra finishes them off, and that's some great work from Trap Queens to win another defense round.
That was such a satisfying C4.
That was perfect. Perfect lob.
I almost have to take that in for a moment, just how beautiful that looked. It wasn't just that it landed perfectly. It's almost like she led the C4 from somehow across the wall. The moment it landed was the exact time that, almost like a landmine, I don't remember who it was, but the member of Sinister just stepped on it. It blows up.
Dude,
that's why I love this game. You just always have moments like that. They're so clean.
Multiple observers and like picture in picture, so we can get a zoom in close up of 2-0 exploding to the sky.
I actually wanted like an NFL replay where we see it land 3 times and then see it explode 4 times.
Attackers need to locate
Get some like air horns in the background. Actually, no, for that play, that'd be more like some Beethoven, just like some orchestral music.
Oh yeah, because it was so good. It's just perfect.
Like
orchestrated.
Some Symphony number 9 or something like that. I don't know what it's called.
Just seeing it land right on top of 2-0s and
contrast that with Automate's play on Clubhouse, which is more like Freebird. Just running around inside of dirt.
Oh, either way, so we're right downstairs. With
Freebird's a good song. It's a good song.
It's a good.
5 seconds left.
Last time we saw Team Sinister try to attack the site, they didn't really go for any vertical. They went strictly horizontal, and they didn't really use a lot of utility. They tried to just take fights, people memorial, people inside a site. One person got killed by a drone hole. It wasn't a great round for Team Sinister.
It was not a great round at all. It resulted in, I believe, a flawless but an effective tactical timeout for the majority of it. So this was the hardest site for Sinister so far and the weakest one they've looked on. We've also seen some marginal improvement since then, so I don't expect we'll see another flawless round. But a lot of it resulted from that horizontal clear from last time. Them just starting in library and pushing on over. Seeing a bit of a difference this time. Still a little bit horizontal as 3 members are slowly making their way inside of laundry. And are you kidding me? Someone died to the same drone hole from Autumn May once again. Cue the free bird right now.
Well, at least at this point, Queen takes Alexis K, and they can pick up 2-0. So this is still recoverable. They still can make this happen. Hopefully, no one else dies to that drone hole. At least Alexis K with 1 C4 is gone. Another C4 thrown over him. This time, not nearly as well done as last round, so C4 will not connect with anybody, but still big information from Automate. Automate is giving information left and right to her crew. Her crew at this point can, effectively change it. Automate is by herself though, gets a kill onto the Lady Brew, but a grenade, great grenade from E-Girl, take out Terra. At this point too, 100 minute and 40, just back and forth, probably the fastest round so far. These teams are just going at it. Daddy's saying, taking a bit of shots from Master, would drop down, she'll leap upstairs. At this point, Automate is still on a tear.
On a double so far, she does have the only ace today in her debut on map number 1, so it'd be pretty funny if she got the second ace in the exact same series, and she'd certainly have full bragging rights on that regard. And what a better op to do it with. On the pulse right now, though, with that breach open inside a bicycle or inside a laundry, it is a little bit risky, not as comfortable as she could otherwise be. But then again, she's also gotten 2 kills from the exact same drone hole, so who am I to question Automate? Queen will peek down, but she's the only one that takes damage in that engagement as she rotates off. Somebody fires up some shots through those railings and puts her down to 25 HP. While she hammers up top, Brittany's looking to hammer the site. She's peppered the barricade with some shots, but still waiting for the call for her team for when she can push on in. All the attackers are pretty disparate right now. They are all spread far out. You still have the sledge of Queen up top. E-Girl outside pantry almost nails Automate. It's still Sora to get the engagement despite one happening concurrently. Brittany moves on in, finally ends and cuts down the pulse before she can get too crazy. 2 members of the attackers knocking on the door of the site. This is a bit of a tough task for Trap Queens. Sora finds herself between both members of the attack, but Daddy Satan picks off one angle. E-Girl's the other 50%, and she did 100% of the effort in that 2v2. What an excellent play. Sinister land their very first round on Villa Attack.
Good job to Team Sinister, but great job to E-Girl. I think E-Girl had 3 kills that round. E-Girl was hitting those shots that round to give Team Sinister that win, because again, it was a scary start though to get that down from Automate through the drone hole once again. But it was still great work from Team Sinister, who didn't even need to get vertical pressure. Actually, no, they had vertical pressure this time though, were able to cause some ruckus horizontally, which caused members of Team Trap Queens to come back down. It was only Daddy Satan who was still upstairs, but she gets fired upon from Master. She drops down, allowing for Queen to go upstairs, open up the floor, cause distress from these defenders, moving them around as you should do. Dislodge those defenders, cause them chaos, and allowing people to E-Girl to take those fights in those dislodged positions and win them. Automate still was a threat that round though. That was crazy. She played couches for so long.
Automate was dedicated to that position, as she's shown to be frequently throughout this matchup, whether it's aggressive in front of the team or directly on the site. You put her in a spot, and she's not one to eagerly give it up or favor ceding control of it to the attacking team. Moving on an operator like Smoke, perfect for her. That's Smoke's bread and butter, especially on a side like AVG. They opt to go for that main stair shield, as we often see. Playing in that position requires somebody to get their feet wet a little bit in the action, but of course also have the wherewithal to rotate off, which is a problem Automate has been having. Sometimes she won't rotate off when it is necessary. And playing main stairs with Daddy Satan and likely Automate, that's a spot where you do eventually have to give it up. If you end a round with main stairs control, something has gone horribly wrong for the attacking team. So for Trap Queens, they've been getting aggressive. I appreciate it, but also want to see them rotate back a bit as well. Because sometimes they get aggressive, sometimes it works out, but then sometimes they stay in one spot for a little bit too long.
Sometimes they take fights in the basement.
Hey, she's not staying there too long. She's rotating off.
Alexis does better. She's running off. She's like, hey, I almost got a kill there, but unfortunately didn't, so I'm going to fall off. I'm going to rotate back upstairs, unfortunately. So, again, it looks like there's the same game plan from Team Sinister. They're going to clear from north to south. They'll take control of Statue, take control of Maz, take control of Trophy. But last time, the huge thing was the fact they opened a vault. They cut the site in half, but Terra still sat in vault, take 2 members, and stalled out that attack entirely. So I don't know what happens this time, if they're gonna stick for that plan. But I think big thing is to have some maybe go through, study, take control of, of main stairs. Study is a bit different because they don't have one wall open like we've seen before from other teams. So it shouldn't be as crazy taking control of study if you have someone. Alexis K down here though could prove to be a problem if she is left unchecked with that C4.
Lexus K is the big X factor in my mind right now. They had the attackers had the engagement and the tangle with her early on inside a basement, so they know that at the very least someone might be off the site. So it should mean that Sinister will start taking these drones in, setting them into buildings. And with E-Girl, her drone sitting just outside of library, might see it go on in, but she might be more so focused on main stairs right now. She gets off, and Alexis K might not be known in this position. E-Girl's the only one pushing from over there, so if she chooses to go through, that's a risky play. But now she rotates over to study, as it's still this master bedroom side to take we see from most teams today on AVG. Most teams, I feel like in North America in general right now, seem to be favoring this. Benny, that C4 you mentioned? Just killed the thermite. Brittany somehow survives, but it still just killed the thermite.
Well, there goes any chance of opening that vault wall, unfortunately, because that was your only hard breach. And still, as I said before, Alexis K proves to be the menace and what could be the stopping power for his team. Because now at this point, they needed to change gameplay. They needed to make a detour. So at this point, Lady Brew and E-Girl are trying to take control of state, take control of that main stairs, take control, make it a pinch. Don't make it one side. Unfortunately, Brew tries to get an air jab on that door, but the windows does a bit bigger than you expect it to be, unfortunately. So this is going to hinge on whether or not they can take control of main stairs, take control of study, because otherwise this is a one-dimensional push that should be easily stopped by the C4s and the smokes of the defending team. Though there is only one smoke left in Automate's possession, it should still be pretty good. 20 seconds left to go. Alexis K's on the other side of the map hits an air jab. I don't know if it's probably too far at this point for anybody to notice that happening. So the people pushing this, actually, no, Brittany hears it. Brittany's waiting for it, doesn't know where they are. Comes through the doorway. Oh, you see him. Great shots. Brittany takes one. Daddy Satan though takes another. Lady Brew, because they're pushing straight into these funnels of death that are so easily observant. Sora gets another, and the plant going behind the vault wall. Looks like the C4 was shot out. Daddy Satan gets one. Queen with another on a May. And then Sora just runs out, gets one, gets both. The person covering him and the planter. Huge from Trap Queens.
Notice Vault Wall has become, ever since the smoke change has become, it was already the default plant spot, but it has become so much more powerful because you're not able to clip through the smoke through that door anymore. You have to somehow angle it. And a lot of the times we'll see C4s not able to fully carry through on into the late round. Of course, we saw it got used early on. Alexis K landed the C4 onto the thermite. As you said, Vault Wall not getting opened, not a remote chance of that even happening once your only hard breacher dies. So as Team Sinister, you're left with just, you have to push on in. If you don't have Vault Wall, you just got to play the hand you're dealt and rely on the coverage outside of Skull Door and inside of Study to do the work for you. And in all fairness, it got them pretty damn far. They almost got that bomb down. It was like less than a second when the sledge got killed. But Daddy Satan hits the flank up main stairs, kills that aspect. The person sitting outside Skull Door gets killed as well. So overall, Sinister, while they did lose the thermite and they didn't clear out Alexis K, good job on making do with what you had and almost pulling that out. You ended up losing the gunfights in the end, but that could have been a lot worse. That could have been a lot worse of a showing.
Yeah, I think Team Sinister has been really good, at least that in these rounds they don't lose their, they don't lose their cool, they don't lose them with the fortitude. They still can make these late game executes that maybe a bit unhinged because they don't have the utility, but they still got to make something happen. And they're showing us that they still have the know-how to say, hey, we may have lost this or that, but we still can make something happen. We still can try and get this plant down and make it somewhat doable, which they almost did. They almost got that plant down, but like you said before, gunfights, everything, and it's hard to do as gunfights in those close quarter combats. Like Sora running out with an SMG-11, swinging you on Skull Door. That's hard to fight. Sora's pretty crazy too.
Now moving on. Final round of the half, we're moving to Trophy and Statuary. Of course, Trap Queens did win this on their defense. The only site Sinister has won is their second kitchen attack. Actually, yeah, second kitchen attack. We played kitchen the very first round, played it again, won it. But now Trap Queens, they're once again moving to comfortable territory, bringing a similar lineup overall. Alexis K on this Valkyrie, she hasn't had the most impact, but only comparatively. Her intel, I feel like, has been one of the biggest factors on the team so far. She has been sticking this Valkyrie through and through. And even when Sinister have brought operators like Valkyrie, or sorry, like IQ to deal with that Valkyrie, there still seems to always be this ever-presence of intel on Trap Queens that always just seems to be a little bit more on the side of Sinister. Take this right now. The IQ's focused on getting the Valk cams, but doesn't seem to be aware of the Valkyrie pushing in. Gets spotted by a drone at the very last minute, but still finds Queen on the fadeaway. Rotating on through, finds the sledge moving down red. Oh, to be honest with you, Benny, I thought she was going to get either killed on the cross or rotate back up Astro, but instead she makes a play. And that's your set of nades gone.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like Queen maybe been aggressive because they had the intel, so Queen trying to act on the intel. But unfortunately, nobody's there to refrag, so Queen goes down. Great shots from Alexis. Unfortunate for Queen. Yeah, that's one frag grenade down. It looks like they don't need that frag grenade, but they do need these. They do need these flashes to get rid of some of this. Oh my god, playing close tear with SG-11. That is not what you expect. Ego though fights back, takes out Alexis. If they're going back and forth, this Team Sinister is still in the back foot, and even more so now with Daddy Satan taking a Lady Brutal.
Sora finishes off onto Brittany and E-Girl. This is the only one left. She was the first one into the building, making it inside of kitchen, and she'll be the last one out the door as well, of course. She could also be the last one out the door alive if she managed to clutch a 1v4, starting off by finding Automate, looking on down through the hatch. Also would require an ace, as that was her second kill, so no small task for E-Girl to try and accomplish. But then again, this was one of the most consistent players for Sinister in their game against Sakuna, and still one of the most consistent players for Sinister today in their game against Trap Queens. She's rotated up to main stairs, still has a fair bit of time to make her way on over, but in a spot where she cannot stop now. Even if she's crouching, even if she's moving slow, she cannot stop and give the defenders any quarter. She'll move through the barbed wire, potentially hurt by the Jaeger, but the head of Daddy Satan is taken clean off. The man count of the defenders is now cut in half, but so is the health of E-Girl. Only on 25 HP, a defender literally sitting on the diffuser, but it does mean they're separate. It does mean one is sitting inside of Trophy, so if she manages to find the head of this one, it could go her way, but no, just aiming a little bit too high. Sora finishes her off, and Trap Queens, they end the half 5-1 on the decider.
That is not looking good. We've seen more and more these days where abilities more would be more even, but at the same point, it doesn't really matter as much as these two teams could both be, maybe they have the defense more square and it's difficult for the attack. We could easily see Team Sinister bring it back on their defense, even this up, though it is quite a trek, though. They have 4 rounds they got to make up to go to a 5-5, maybe even closer to, they'd have to win another 2 rounds after that to win it out straight up in regulation or go to a 6 they can go overtime. So there's quite a bit of ground for Team Sinister to make up. Let's see how they do in their first defense Aviator games. And we see a slew of shields being brought. Goyo and Smoke on the board, especially with Lady Brutal and Kai. There's definitely an interesting set of utility and denial here from Team Sinister.
As many bombs as they can.
Recent history, Sinister have not struggled on their defenses. In fact, on their opponent's map pick of Clubhouse. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. The way I write my notes, I got a bit scared for a second. I was reading map 1. But no, on Clubhouse. Map number 2. They went up 4-2 on their defenses. So it's not like they're not well-versed in their defenses. On Cafe as well, they saw some success. Of course, they ended up losing that map. But it still looked marginally better than their attacks. So Sinister are moving to a side that has done well for them so far in this series. But the odds of a 5-1 half just are not good to stand on. Especially with how much Trap Queens seem to be feeling themselves on attack on both Cafe and Clubhouse. Automate on that Yana, Daddy Satan on the Ashe, really everyone on all their respective roles. Even Terra on the Jackal, that's a new operator thrown into the mix. But we started the map and started the game talking about how Trap Queens, they all seem to show up. They might not all have the same amount of kills, but in terms of the literal impact on the round, Trap Queens always are there to make the play together. And this seems to be one of the big reasons why they're winning so far. That defensive half, they all play together, and that was one of their big strengths on their attacks in map 1 and 2. And all they have to do is play to that same level twice, and they've eliminated Team Sinister.
Well, good drone work so far from Trap Queens. Able to find a pre-placed C4 and destroy it, and a good ping onto the goal of 2 zeros. Looks like a grenade's being popped by Automate. We've seen Automate previously have some great grenades, but Lady Brutal, perfect timing to jump on top of the little cabinet inside the vault. But Lexus K touches off, taking out Brittany. There goes your Jaeger. Another grenade coming out to try and destroy something, but it actually threw the floor on top of the bookcase. Lady Brutal is down, but unfortunately, because of no points, Automate does not know, and of course, you can't probably see them because they're on top of that little bookcase in the middle of the vault. So this is huge. Automate at least put one person down low HP, and Brittany's gone down. Trap Queen have a great start here on Aviator games. Question is, what is their play going to be? Are they going to take main stairs? It looks like they're taking main stairs, but they're all downstairs right now, just trying to create havoc below and trying to destroy some utility from below.
It looks like a main stairs push is in the cards. Terra melees the barbed wire, does have a Jackal ping on someone, though it's inside the site, so they can't do all too much to exploit or work off of that just yet, but they don't even need that bit of intel. Automate finds the second kill onto Queen. That's your Mozzie down, a C4 as well. Mozzie Pest will take Terra's drone, but it does appear that main stairs is relatively clear, save for potentially one player. No, that player was inside the site, so the top, that shield, all of it is perfectly free for the attackers to take. Now that the defenders have moved back into sight, all they're really looking for are Lady Brutal C4 and E-Girl smoke canisters in terms of utility, but 2 zeros on low HP. She's moved into the grave. Lady Brutal's next up to bat, but it's E-Girl to hit the ball out of the park, and now Lady Brutal's fallen inside a vault. It's E-Girl, all left up to her once again. She's peeked by Daddy Satan, not even able to shoot back in that engagement. We are 1 round away from Trap Queens taking the decider 7-1 and knocking Team Sinister out That is, Team Sinister can't manage to find 5 rounds in a row.
It's looking pretty desperate for Team Sinister. What a great round from Trap Queens, though. Able to get the first pick, able to down a play from Autumn. So it's just the fact that Autumn, Alexis doing great work, able to take control of main stairs, Autumn getting another kill in the interim, being able to take control of main stairs, take control of Skull, take control of the classical hallway, and overall, a very good attack half or attacking round from Trap Queens being multiple faceted, taking different sides, taking below and creating havoc from below is huge too. We don't see that very often. Autumn's been doing it time and time again from this map, last map.
Automate, like Tex in Series 1, the sub is just doing a lot of work for the team. And that's always something you like to see.
Need to locate and defuse
We as
bombs.
casters, we always talk about, oh, this team is playing with a sub. Understandably, say this team is playing with a sub, this could cause some problems. The sub still, of course, does usually scrim with the team. It's not like they're just, sitting on the bench eating Pringles. They still will scrim and dry run with the team and know the strats. But there is always a lot to be said for the cohesion teams have with more consistent players. But Tex in Series 1 and Automate map number 2, I'm impressed by how much they've managed to step up. Automate on the attack always seems to find a way to go off, but we've talked a lot about her. And now going into the final map, she's still one of the players that I want to talk a little bit more about. Because on that Yana, gonna be one of the main people not only entering because of the role she's been playing, but with that intel as well. Moving off of that, that is what Sinister need to counter. Not just Yana, but the intel in general. Trap Queens are quickly able to find where the defenders are playing, then pinch them out, cut them down either from above, below, or on the same level as the site. And if Sinister want to try to start stringing these rounds back, maybe doing a little bit of extension, rotating back, but taking out those drones with that Mozzie, for example, that needs to be the game plan.
Let's see what happens here. We're aviated again once again, and we'll see exactly. Well, we'll see what's going on. There's already a roamer downstairs. Last time they didn't roam really much at all from Team Sinister. Team Sinister were playing close to chess. They were mostly on site, playing in some stairs, playing main stairs, playing on vault. But there's at least one as a Mozzie who's being tracked by a Jackal of Terra. The reason why you usually see Jackal bandage is because roaming is so much more difficult with being tracked by a Jackal. So the fact that Jackal's being brought by Trap Queens is huge here because it causes any kind of roamers, like we saw from Queen, being pushed off because of that. And so it looks like that looks like a grenade tried to pop up, but Automate's grenade was caught by an ADS. So at which point it looks like Automate's trying to figure a different angle. But still, this is the downstairs coverage from the side of Trap Queens that just go downstairs and try to shoot anything they can, trying to make any destruction they can from below before they make their attempt up the main stairs or wherever they're going to. Another camp kind of pops up, but nobody's in fault.
Thankfully, this go around, those nades are not nearly as successful. In fact, it's the opening duel to be much more successful for 2-0. As finds Sora, the ace, the only source of hard destruction on the side of Trap Queens. We saw how detrimental that was for Sinister on their second attempt at an AVG attack. We've also seen how critical it can be when teams manage to work back that man count. 2 members fall for Sinister, the Mozzie and the Valkyrie, the Cade too. How quickly things have turned, and suddenly it's Trap Queens in the advantage. It's E-Girl and Brittany left. One with all the utility in the world, and the other's got a 416 with solid positioning all the way with a long angle inside of Study. One's tagged. That's Daddy Satan moving down to 65 HP or so, but it does mean E-Girl is all alone on the bomb site with plenty of utility, but now all alone. The hopes and the chances of Team Sinister on the line. One peeks over, but she can't flick soon enough. Expected the Yana still at the doorway. Team Sinister will join Homeland Nova as the second team eliminated from CCSW.
Unfortunate Team Sinister, a good play, but Trap Queen all around, every single member were popping off. We saw that last round and every single member were getting kills, doing their job. Unfortunately not for the ace because they got killed at first, but most members were still getting kills. They brought that round back.